Welcome to the Entertainment Rants Podcast, your number one source for all things entertainment. Join host Marco Mazzola and his fellow ranters as they sound off on the latest movies, TV, and the world of entertainment. Now, here are your ranters for the hour, Marco, Mila, Larry, and Bruno.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome to the Entertainment Rants Podcast, the only show that does not treat hunger like a game. I am Marco Mazzola.
That was horrible.
You
that's
love
the show,
that.
guys.
You fucking love that.
What the fuck was that?
You love that.
Where did
I'm your
that
host,
Yo, try
Marco
that again. We
Mazzola.
gotta take another.
No, there's no more. There's no more. That's all you get. That's all you get. As you can hear, we have the full cavalcade of ranters with us. Let's say hello around the room. Hello, Bruno.
I never did introduce myself. I'm Dale Griffin, American Light and Fixture, Director of Sales, Shower Curtain Ring Division. I sell shower curtain rings, best in the world.
That took up a whole fucking hour. I don't have enough room on the car. Thank you, Bruno. Hello, Mila.
Ew.
Yo, Larry.
Hey.
What's going on, gang? We are here
Yeah.
to talk. We're starting off our John Hughes month.
John Hughes month.
Yeah,
John
John Hughes
Hughes.
month. We picked 4 movies. Well, we're up to 2 anyway. We picked 2, right?
3.
3. Did we get 3 out of the bag? All
Yeah,
right,
we got
good.
3.
We did get 3. You're correct. So we're starting off with Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Yes.
You betcha.
Fantastic. This was my pick, but we all agreed to this one pretty quickly, which is great. Which is
yeah.
unusual
I mean,
for us.
look, let's be honest with you. For the John Hughes stuff, it's not that hard, right? It's hey, what
I
we
mean,
want.
the catalog is big.
I mean, right,
Yeah.
but again,
They're
it's
all pretty good.
it's all pretty good. It's like, all right, let's
Right.
do this week. Okay.
yeah. It's
Sure,
really
no
good,
problem.
wonderful, or the
And
other.
then
Yeah.
Uncontested.
Well.
You said it, and we're all like, "Yeah, all right, yeah, sure, can work with that."
Yeah, I like that.
Good idea. All right.
So,
Sounds like
1987, rated our hour and 33 minutes. Yes?
Yes,
Yeah.
93 minutes.
Starring,
It's a quick hour and a half, though.
it really
was.
is.
Oh, yeah.
It really is. Starring Steve Martin and John Candy. Of course, that's your main leads. I mean, it's a Thanksgiving movie.
Yes.
It's not a Christmas movie. It's a Thanksgiving movie. I mean, how many movies can you think that really center around Thanksgiving, other than the Charlie Brown Thanksgiving special?
There was one in my mind earlier, but
What's the one with the what do you call it? Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sinbad.
That's Jingle All the Way.
Jingle all the way.
That's obviously that's Christmas.
Jingle All the Way?
Yeah, it's Christmas movie.
All right, so wait,
Where they go
wait,
after the Turbo Man toy.
Yeah, but wasn't that he was going for it for Black Friday?
Yeah, I mean, it kind of centers around because it's like right after Thanksgiving.
Black Friday's a damn
but it was
Thanksgiving.
done
It was done for
for
Christmas stuff.
the thing
right.
is, I don't know.
That's-
Most of the time, when it's like a centers around Thanksgiving movie, it kind of never really is about Thanksgiving. I feel like a lot of the times it's like, it's a reason we need to get home for some reason.
Yeah, I mean, that's basically
You know,
essentially what this is.
There's
even
not a
though,
lot of like
the ending
Thanksgiving
seems
because
to have
even
still,
this
like, a little
one
Christmas feel to it.
doesn't really. It's like it. Already, I'm going to bring up the debate we already had earlier about the Christmas movies.
I mean, how do you define a Thanksgiving
Right,
movie,
it's
right?
like that has to be important that it's Thanksgiving. Yeah, this one's one of those ones where you're like, yeah, that's a gray area to not really, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, I always define it as Thanksgiving. So my friend
I mean,
John
sure,
and I,
yeah.
you know
I
John.
count Die Hard as a Christmas movie, so, you know.
You're wrong, but
I'm right, but, you know, it's
not
the
according to
same
the
thing.
director.
Let's not do this.
Not according to the director.
Let's not
I
do
mean,
this.
Sorry, we've already done this.
Directors have been wrong in the past, I'm just saying.
Or Bruce Willis. So, Seventelli watches this movie. We used to watch this all the time. For years, John and I would watch this movie every Thanksgiving. We get together, even up to a couple of years, like prior to the pandemic.
Yeah.
We'd like get together and watch this movie together
Yeah.
on the day before Thanksgiving.
Right.
Because it's a Thanksgiving movie. I mean,
Yeah.
it centers around him trying to get home, Steve Martin's character trying to get home for
Yes.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah, but he could just as easily be getting home for the weekend. He could just be easily getting home for
A birthday
Christmas,
or
a birthday.
Christmas.
I know, but I think it
4th
just
of July.
But
Although it's
You're
more
right, but it was-
specific,
It's just a
specific
reason
though.
to get home.
It's
it
got to
was-
be
it
a
was
family
imperative.
reason, you know?
Like,
yeah, I mean, but yeah, you're right. Larry's right. Like it was imperative.
But it
to
could have been his
for the
daughter's
holiday.
birthday.
You're right.
Imperative to be there by the birthday.
Although Thanksgiving's a pretty strong reason for them to want to, because even
Yeah,
a
to
birthday,
not
sometimes
miss
they go,
something.
I might miss it. I'll give you a.
Not as a parent.
When I'm
you're not
there.
missing you're not missing your child's birthday as a parent. Or you
Yeah.
try not to. I mean,
Well, we've known
Right,
people.
yeah.
We won't mention that.
yeah. I mean, all right. So that happens, right? But like, as a parent, like you really unless,
not- yeah.
unless you can if you can avoid it,
Yeah.
you avoid it.
Yeah.
You try
100%.
not to miss it. So
Yeah, no, 100%. I agree with you. But yeah,
That's
I mean,
fair.
as a Thanksgiving movie goes, and it is, I love this one. It's one of
Oh,
my,
yeah.
it's up there in my John Candy movies. Like I think it was John Candy and Steve Martin, obviously, but it's definitely one of my highest free watches, along with The Great Outdoors and some of those movies. Like I continue watching this one.
Big Bear Chase me.
Big Bear Chase Me. Yes. And this one is, I don't know if it's as quotable as The Great Outdoors, but it's got some great lines.
It's got some good though. Those are pillows and
Yes.
There's some quick.
You're messing with the
little
wrong
ones.
guy.
There's definitely some quick little whips in there.
Yeah.
But this is good. I liked it. It was a fun watch.
Fucking
Yeah.
car. It was a fucking seat. A fucking steering wheel. Oh boy.
I mean, it was Steve Martin as a
You're
straight man,
fucked.
which you don't usually see Steve Martin as a straight man, right? Like,
Right.
No, yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
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 It's a little bit of a different take for him. He does a good job of it,
Oh yeah.
but yeah, it's different. It's a different look.
So when did you? So Neil, obviously, we'll go with you. When was the first time you saw this movie? So obviously, you weren't around in '84 when it came out. Sorry, '87.
What time is it?
I saw. She's like.
No, I watched
48
it.
hours.
I watched it yesterday. For the
Was
first
that the
time.
first time?
Yes, it was.
Wow, all
And
right.
the thing is, it'd
That's
been on my
cool.
personal list for a while. I'd been I'd
glad we
wanted
could
a
take another one
reason
off
to
your
watch
list.
this movie, and then I was like, oh, finally someone suggests this movie, because I was like, you know what? I'd love to watch this movie, and I finally got to sit down, get comfortable and watch it, and I had so much fun watching it,
That was a
So,
fun
yeah.
movie. And
Yesterday.
you can see a lot of the stuff coming, but some of it anyway. Some of it was pretty out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they when he flicks a cigarette out the window. And how
Yeah,
I
yeah.
It
personally
bounces
laughed.
back.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. I am an ex-smoker. I myself have actually done that. I'm in the front seat. My buddy's in the back seat. I'm done. I flick it out the window, right in the back, caught him right in the sleeve.
No
he was
shit.
like, what the fuck, I'm burning. I was like, oh shit. And I'm like, where did that come from? It was mine.
Yeah.
So I was like, when I saw him do that, I was like, wow, I see this is going to happen.
Yeah. As you can see, the dash is pretty well melted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Luckily enough, the radio still works.
The radio still works. Yeah.
It's a surprise.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I have
Clean
no
some
idea
bell.
how quick you were going.
Yeah, the gate is all melted. That car is melted, but yet it still ran, which blew my mind. I'm like, how did that happen? That was an open
Apparently, you don't
flame.
need gauges for the car to
That was
run.
The electrical system.
Yeah, that's an open
You don't
flame.
need to know things, you just need to go.
It also reminded me of the Griswold's car. It was
A little bit. It was a little bit of
same
that
exact
structure.
color, same
Yeah.
exact wood panel. It just
Yeah.
wasn't a station wagon.
Right.
I mean, but that was
More of
the
a sedan.
style.
Right.
But
But I mean, it was like when I saw that, I was like, "Holy shit! It's the Griswold's car from
Yeah.
It's the
Vacation."
sedan version.
Yeah,
It's a
and,
major throwback.
and that whole, and obviously we're jumping around, but that whole scene of them in the car, he's trying to take his jacket off, and the car's going everywhere. National Lampoon's Vacation, when they all fell asleep in the car.
Yeah.
And including Clark, he's like, honey, turn the TV off, but come back to bed. He's like, okay, honey. And he opens up his eyes, he goes, ah! And he spins, and they rental parks, and he goes, ah! So we made it on time. I was like, what the f-? So that whole scene, that reminded me of that.
Yeah.
There was a lot of wild shit in this. But again, some of it was foreshadowed. You kind of see it coming.
Yeah.
Some of it was. But
A lot of the hits were they were still really funny, but a lot of the hits were almost expected. Like the I bet it's gonna break down.
Yeah.
Like a lot of those types of things. It's like I know it'd be an
but I didn't see
easy
it.
thing to happen, but still, I can't wait for that to happen.
I didn't see the car going up in flames. That was pretty good. Until he threw the
I thought it was gonna catch in
I was
flames
like,
way
oh,
earlier.
It's just gonna break down. But the first time I saw it, I wasn't expecting the cigarette to get in there and the whole thing to go up,
Yeah.
and then to be driving down the
Yeah.
wrong side.
I love the driving down the wrong side of the road. He's like,
No,
that's
you're on
great.
the wrong side. He's like, oh, he's just drunk.
And he's like,
He wants to race.
wrong side of the road.
No, he's going, you're going the wrong way.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, what?
does he
You're
know
going the
where
wrong
we're going?
way. Steve Martin.
He's just drunk.
Steve Martin goes, yeah, how would he know? Yeah, right, we're going the wrong way. How would you know? I'm like, oh, fuck.
He's pretending he's miming that he's drunk. Like,
Yeah,
"Oh,
yeah,
he's
Kill
just drunk."
somebody.
And they skim right between the two trucks, and they both turn into skeletons.
Oh my
looking
god,
at
that
each other.
was so
Yeah,
good.
that
Oh my
was,
god.
That was a real.
That was a
Looks
little
over
Pee-wee's
and
Big
jumps.
Adventure right there.
yeah, it was a
Yeah.
comedic piece.
Rest in peace, Paul
I was
Rubens.
just gonna say, R.I.P.
Yep.
That was a comedic piece I didn't expect to see. Like Like, I don't remember that from the first time I saw it.
Right.
They
Yeah, that was
sort of,
pretty unexpected.
Switched to skeletons as they were.
Yeah, that would
come
kind of. I was
through.
like, oh, where did that come from?
Yeah.
But yeah, so when he puts down his Diners Club, and then he takes it out of the machine, and then he puts the other ones, I remember going, oh, something's fucked up with that. They're gonna switch cards. What happened? They switch cards.
Yeah.
The moment that he goes, all right, I'm gonna put this in the glove compartment. Remind me that I put it in the glove compartment.
Yeah,
and my head
there's
going,
no fucking reason to do that.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm like,
fun.
okay, this bad's gonna happen.
Yeah, because there's no reason to put your shit in the glove
Just put it in
compartment.
your back wall and put it in your back
maybe
pocket.
it was in his back pocket and he didn't want to sleep on it or something.
Well, that's what it was. It was uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Just stand and put it there.
yeah.
So he's like, all right, I'm just going to put it in the glove. It's like, all right, well, that's going to go out and smoke. Yeah, that's gone.
Yeah.
Right now, you're going to have no money, no cards, no
Yeah.
license,
No
no
nothing.
nothing. So, all right, not getting anything else to get home, you know? And that was, I mean, it is just one little skit after another.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And watching them
Just
separate, get
reoccurring
back together,
characters.
separate, get back together.
4 or 5 times.
Yeah, keep
Yeah.
running into each other.
Let's start at the beginning with this. There's a couple things right at the beginning that I saw. I was like, this doesn't make sense. You catch his flight ticket. It says leaving JFK, going to O'Hare, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Leaving JFK at 6 p.m.
Yeah.
Arrives at 6:45.
I caught that. I was
Yeah,
like,
but isn't that it was an hour behind, isn't it?
It takes 2.5 hours to go from JFK to O'Hare.
that's
Yeah,
what.
and you've
No,
got an
I
hour
had the
difference.
same
Right.
thing.
So
what was that?
So that should have been, if that was correct, it should have been leaves at 6, lands at 7:30.
So it's definitely 2.5 hours?
Yeah, it's a 2.5 hour flight.
Yeah.
Because I saw it, I was like, that's weird. And even I said the same thing. I was like, oh, you got the hour delay or whatever. I go,
Yeah.
hold on. I looked up a flight. It's from and it's a 2.5 hour
Is that in the
flight.
goofs? Let me see if it's in the goofs.
Yeah.
Googs. Oh, the goofs.
Yeah, the goofs.
Yeah.
That was one thing. I was like,
That's interesting.
Yeah, I was like, what is
Maybe
that?
just-
What is
put
that?
him
Get
in the-
there versus takeoff? I was like, I'm not seeing.
right. So it doesn't say boarding, and then he rushes.
And they even highlight it too. So I was like, what am I looking at
Yeah,
here?
and it was funny because when he's
Well,
flying,
he was a 6 o'clock, right? He's like, you're not going to make the 6.
yeah, you're not gonna make
Yeah.
the 6. You're not gonna make the 6. And I'm
That's
like,
what
all
made it solid.
But then he
Okay.
gets all the way there, and they're like, "Oh, it's been delayed." I'm like, "Wait a minute. So what time are they supposed to board? Because he just gets there at 6.
Yeah.
So what time are they supposed to board? 5:30 normally. So they would have delayed it at 5:15, not at 6 o'clock when they're supposed to be already taken off.
Well, it was delayed
Yeah.
due to weather. So maybe they made a late call on the delay.
Maybe.
Like, I've seen weird things like that.
Did you see who he was racing up against when he was trying to catch his cab outside?
Yeah, Kevin Bacon.
Oh yeah,
Bacon.
Kevin Bacon. I was like,
That
what-
was awesome.
That was so
awesome.
funny. I was like, what is he? Is he gonna be in this movie? And there's like,
Nope.
no.
2 seconds of Kevin Bacon in it. Who was who was Steve Martin's partner inside the boardroom with him that he was talking to? He was like, I need to leave. Who was that?
Oh
I mean, he was the father in Ferris Bueller.
Ferris Day Off.
Yeah.
no.
Yeah. So I noticed that obviously John Hughes is one of those guys.
He uses all the same
uses
guys.
the same people.
And just like the woman at the car rental place was
I always
the secretary. of-
I always know her as
Ferris
Mrs.
Bueller.
Poole.
Yeah.
Mrs. Poole, that was a TV show, the Hogans.
Yeah.
She was the next door neighbor, and I always know her as Mrs. Poole, no matter whatever I've seen her
She
in.
plays that same character.
Same character.
Yeah.
And watching Steve Martin, I'm glad you brought that up. Watching Steve Martin like swear at her, I was like, dude, that's Mrs. Poole.
I know.
You swear at her.
Swear at her.
But
then
she's-
when she
she's
swears
like,
back-
and then she goes, oh boy. She
You're-
goes,
oh,
you're
you're
fucked. I was like, oh, that's great.
That was so good.
It was good shit.
So I read up real quick. Something came up, and this is a direct quote from the thing that I read was rewrites. Hughes did the rewrites Hughes did during filming made the amount of footage he shot much larger than the original screenplay needed, and the film's first cut was 3 hours and 45 minutes.
Wow.
3 hours.
I can't imagine the movie like
So
that.
part
Yeah,
part
I
of
can't.
I'm
this
kind
is
of
a great
glad that
movie.
they
I'm
cut it
glad
off,
wasn't close.
'cause-
yeah.
I don't know how long they could've dragged that.
Part of the storyline that they cut out was his wife, Steve Martin's wife, thought he was with another woman this whole time. And so that's why when he's like on the
yeah.
phone with her, and like she's got like that look like, okay, well, like how long is it gonna be? Like it's what's going on here. So part of that was that in the original, the original rewrite, they was she thought that he was having an affair, and he really wasn't going through all this nonsense, if you will.
Yeah.
I saw that. I was like, oh, that really sucks.
I'm so glad they cut that out. Oh my god.
Yeah.
That would add such an unnecessary part of the
Yeah,
story.
it would have changed the story.
Yeah,
too
it
much.
would've-
It
so
would have
much.
changed the whole feel. Because then it's like,
but
it's
can
not
we-
just a rush to get to Thanksgiving to be with your family.
Yeah.
Then it's about, oh, I have to go prove to my wife that I'm not cheating
I'm
on
not
her.
right.
It's just some dude I've been, backpacking across the country to give it to you. You know?
Can we talk about the fact that they took a seemingly mundane thing and turned it into a whole fucking movie? All they did was say, like you imagine the pitch meeting on this. Well, I got a movie for you. What's the movie? It's just a guy trying to get home to. Okay, what happens when he gets home? No, that's the movie. Him trying to get home.
Home from New York to Chicago.
And then what happens? He just runs into a super annoying guy that fucks everything up. Okay, but
One of
now
those guys
what's the
that talks
point of
on a
this
plane.
movie? Well, the point of the movie is just like it's really funny that all this shit happens, and like that's it. Yeah,
It was the 80s.
fucking millions of dollars made. Like
Film it.
Millions.
so
Start writing now.
When I hear people say, "Well, we had to make Jurassic Park 27 because it's an already known story," like no, you can make movies on anything and make money if you do it the right way.
Well, that's what you need good writers for.
Good writers.
Ding, ding.
Good writers there,
Ding,
Bruno.
Good writers.
Somebody listened to the last episode.
The more you know.
Dun, 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 dun. I gotta make that a soundbite. Dun, 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 dun. I gotta put sad Hulk music on here too.
Yo,
We don't have enough buttons for the amount of
No,
sounds
you
we
can.
want to
There's
make.
like banks. You can use
You
at
need
least
more
3
buttons.
banks.
need a lot more
Perfect.
buttons. But yeah, but that was this whole movie though. Was just like I feel bad for Steve Martin. He's like, dude, all I want to do is just go home.
Yeah.
That's all I want
I've
to
been
do.
there.
Like, why? I'm in Wichita, Kansas. What the fuck am I doing in Wichita, fucking Kansas? Like, it's the complete opposite way.
Yeah.
He gets into a cab, which, I don't know if I would have gotten into that cab.
That cab was like, what?
I was very confused about that
He
cab.
said he wanted to see the area. I'd never been here before. What? It's the middle of the night. Oh, he's very proud of his town.
Very rare these days.
He's very proud of his town. He wanted to show it.
Yeah, I mean, Dell can obviously just like make everything okay. Like his ability
with
to
it.
just like just smooth everything over
Yeah.
and just pacify and like excuse anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Everything's cool.
Yeah, that's what I noticed too. And it's like, this fucking guy, he's, it could be raining inside. Oh, it's okay if we just put a little tent. It'll be like we're
Yeah.
sitting outside and nature. Like, that was his attitude throughout the whole fucking movie.
Yeah.
And I don't know, but like, I genuinely felt Steve Martin's anguish and pain.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I felt so bad for him. Like, oh,
When he walked
Jesus.
all the way back
Every time he
to the
starts
car
seething.
rental place, I was like, I hear you, brother.
Dude,
Yeah.
and the car was gone.
feel
He
that.
decided to say every word.
I feel that.
But like, would Dell have done that? Or would Dell have like been, if he had to walk back like that? Would he have exploded like that?
No.
No. Oh, no.
So is that like a cultural thing? Is like, where does that come from? Why do we feel like that? Like that's
I think Dell
aggravation,
was
It
and
might
Dell's
be
kind of like,
because-
that's just the way it is,
It
and
might
shit
be
happens.
because, like, the situation, like, Dell necessarily wasn't really going anywhere.
Yeah.
Sure it was Thanksgiving, but as we know,
Dell
there
didn't
wasn't really
find out.
anywhere
He
to
didn't have a
be.
family to get back.
But
Yeah, he had a
meanwhile,
destination,
he's
he
like,
had a home.
there's so much
Right.
urgency there. Like, he
Yeah.
has to be home for Thanksgiving, and everything is stopping him from being there.
Sure.
But
But I mean, there are still people who live in more of a life of like gratitude of just like, this sucks, but,
but
I'm not going to lose my shit because
I think you have
it's
to
not
boil
really
it-
going to help the
I
situation.
think you have to boil it down to the fact that Dell didn't have a family or a home, right?
Right.
So he didn't have a destination. So for him, he's going through his life by just like, well, whatever gets thrown at me, I just got to kind of deal with it, right? He lost his wife because she died, and if in his brain,
Spoiler.
that's the end of right. Spoiler, in case you haven't seen this from
Really, 20 minutes in?
37 years ago. So,
was
so like
busy.
all of that, I could totally see where he might be like, well, here's just another thing that got thrown at me. I just got to make the best of it. And so, how do I find the silver lining? So I feel like he's like that because of his life prior, and not necessarily because just he's a happy, fun-loving guy. I think he just had to learn to be that way. It was my takeaway. I mean, it could be anything, but I feel like
yeah.
he wasn't in a rush like Mila said.
No, but do you think he was? Do you think he was like that always, like
No,
before?
I don't. I don't. I think he knows what he's about. I think he understands himself. He understands that he's he's got the idiosyncrasies that he has, but I think he lost his loved one. And then when he's sitting in the car outside and it was snowing, he even was talking to his dead wife and was saying, you're right, I'm just a crazy, annoying kind of person. I forget exactly what he said, but he was essentially admitting to the fact.
But he had that speech to Steve Martin, right? Like, he had that kind of like, I could be cynical. I could be a fuckface like you. I could be a jack, a jerk off like you too. I just choose not to do that.
No, but I think
I choose not to live that way.
I think people get there. I don't think they start there. I think you get there because of the life that you're experiencing. Like if you experience a lot of like death and loss in your life, I think you get better at accepting it. You become a little bit more graceful in the acceptance of that. If you've been dealt.
Well, I don't think everybody does. I know some people get a little more drunk and jaded.
Yeah,
but you know what I mean.
I know.
Some people get a little more shitty as the day gets on. But I agree. But I understand what you're saying.
I'm not saying everybody does, but
there's some people who can go that way, and some people go the exact opposite way.
Agreed. Yeah.
And go, life sucks because this happened. Some people go like, hey, we got to take it as it comes, and you can't control everything.
Losing somebody is really, really hard, and it's awful. And so, I totally understand when people take it differently. But
sure.
I would imagine. In my interpretation of his character, I feel like he got there, to where he was like, well, I've got a lot of shit thrown at me, haven't really navigated my life all that great, and at this point, I'm just going to take it as it comes and just going to be happy with whatever I get, essentially.
Yeah. No, yeah, exactly. I agree with that 100%. I think Steve Martin just didn't. His character's just like...
Well, he's a lot to lose, Steve Martin, right? He's got a family and a house and a job, so he's got stress around it. When you don't have much to lose, you're pretty relaxed. Like, as weird as that sounds,
you just go with the flow. You go with whatever.
When you don't have anything, you're not worried about losing everything. Right. You don't have much to lose.
I mean, not for nothing. They had no money, so he started selling the
rings. Yeah, that was awesome.
Different things. I was like, that's fucking what a hustler.
Right? Oh, Elvis
expert salesman.
Oh yeah, this is Elvis's. He was just throwing all kinds of shit.
Ivory from
it'll make
whatever.
You look at least 17 or 18. Here you go.
Yeah,
he knew how to play every single person he was talking to.
He was like great for the earrings. I'm like, the earrings, what?
Right?
And all three girls, they all had him in, and he's like, oh, this is for the Emperor's jade bracelet or whatever. I'm like.
And then he goes, he's not the real one, but it's a great replica.
Great replica. Is that right?
Is that right?
Yeah. A couple of them were autographed. I'm like, wouldn't they know that it's not autographed?
It's just smudged off, that's all.
Oh, okay.
I mean, he did a great job. It really, for writing what seemed like a one-dimensional character, he was a lot more than that. Like whether he was supposed to be or whether John Candy played him that way, he really was multi-dimensional.
It makes me think of his character in Uncle Buck,
Yeah.
where it was it felt similar. Mm-hmm. Where he's like this eccentric guy, but then it's also like,
he's got a deeper part to him.
Going through it, yeah.
But he's kind of like an annoying fucker, you know what I mean? But he's got he's got deepness to him, you know what I mean?
He does a great job at that.
And be better.
Well, you saw the first when they were in the hotel room and they were, and Steve Martin got mad at him, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he really kind of opened up, was like you said, hey, I could be a dick like you, but I chose not to.
Yeah.
So
when we find out during the movie that his wife had passed away, but
at the end.
I kind of feel like
at the end.
But I kind of feel like you saw it coming.
Right? Yeah, it's not a plot twist.
The way he was kind of talking about her. I feel like earlier on, you kind of like, I don't think she's actually going home to her. He kind of seemed
he
to
always
almost
had
be
those
talking to her in
those
the
type
past
of
tense.
eyes,
Yeah, he kind of seemed like he was talking to her in the past tense.
I remember a family once type look,
There was a lot
and
of past tense talk, you know what I mean?
Pain behind those eyes.
Yeah, it just felt like it. So I kind of felt for him, felt for him right from the beginning, you know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
And that kind of he was trying to do good. He's annoying, but he keeps getting shit on, and then.
My dogs are barking.
Oh my god!
He takes the socks off.
When he took the socks off,
and then
he
he's
was like,
waving the sock in his face. I'm like, holy fuck!
He's rolling his own eyes.
God.
Everybody's had those people next to him.
Oh my god!
It's the worst. You know what's something that blew my mind in watching this movie? And it was late '80s and still, but. The smoking in the restaurant.
Yeah.
So I know this is a complete sidebar.
No, it's
smoking everywhere, right?
It is funny to watch.
The smoking was everywhere, and it still kind of throws me off a little bit whenever I watch it in a movie. And again, I am an ex-smoker. I remember those days of The moment I'm done with my food, wipe my hands, wipe my mouth, light up the butt right there at the counter. But to watch it, I'm like, that looks so fucking weird.
Yeah, you just don't see it now.
You don't see it now. And then when he's in the hotel and he's smoking and he grabs the ashtray, I'm like,
smoking in the hotel.
Smoking in the hotels. Yeah. I was waiting for him to rip one on the plane. Because that would still be the time that you could.
Yeah. So we had a story here, like a couple weeks, well, not last week, the week before we did camps here, right? So we had a bunch of kids around, and
one of the kids was smoking.
Yeah, fucking little bastard.
Yeah, just lit up right there. It's crazy.
Little bastard. Like,
where's your lighter?
Oh, the extra longs, the extra long ones too. Like, how old are you? Like, how old are you? That was my grandmother's cigarettes. So like, they're doing like arts and crafts
time. That really didn't happen, I swear to God.
No, it did not happen. No. So it was arts and crafts time. We have a TV in here, so we're like, oh, okay, let's pop on the TV. You guys can watch a little TV while we're doing it. So we have the Disney Plus.
Yeah.
So watching some Disney movies. Like, all right, what do you guys want to watch? So we threw on Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Fucking blew their minds. These kids are all like 6, 7, 8. This movie is from the 80s, whatever. The technology, these kids get shrunk down. They're like, why don't they just fucking send a text? Like, why don't they just call them? Right? There's so much. Like, anything that the whole premise of like how they couldn't get out of it because all of our, their world is like, none of this could have happened. Like, none of this would have happened because you would have been solved it in 2 seconds by like a fucking mom. You know what I mean? Like a fucking text.
I am very
whatever.
Small. Please look on the blade
like,
of grass.
I don't understand any of this. Like, how did this happen? Like, why wouldn't they just, it's really funny to watch old shit like that, You watch stuff like, even older shows like, I watch a lot of Cheers and Frasier or Friends, like before cell phones became really prominent.
Yeah.
And you watch these things like all this like miscommunication would just be like a fucking text. Like, don't do this, don't go there. Like, oh, okay, fine. Shit like that happens back then. It's like for writing, that has to be harder. Because now it's like you have to
be able to write it away.
You have to write your way out of it.
Yeah, you have to write your way around shit like that.
There's so much stuff you can't make anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Right, you gotta write it plausible, like that.
Oh no, there was no Wi-Fi in the area.
Yeah, exactly.
The data connection wasn't there. It's so hard.
Yeah. I remember listening to Kevin Smith talk one time about that. And he was like, there was a movie where like these guys are like these kids or whatever, they're being chased by like some like murderers or some shit. It was like a Halloween type of scary movie, and they're like going to the library to find out how to kill these fucking things. But like nowadays, just be like fucking texting, twittering, like googling and twittering, like, hey, hashtag fucking stop chasing us. You know what I mean? Like, leave us fuck alone. You know what I mean? Like, it's like so different now.
Yeah.
That's wild.
I mean, the bigger issues I think you definitely have to consider right now. We got a plot. Are these people like in this timeline where they've got access to cell phones and the internet and all that stuff, like as teenagers? Like it really it changes everything.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Right. So that brings us to that. How would this work today? Like, I mean, it's not that people don't go through shit like this today to a degree, right?
So the
flights
whole
canceled
when they were lining up to make calls for the hotels,
right? The phone bank.
That used to happen, right?
Oh yeah.
And like I was like, fuck, I remember that. And now like
to wait for your turn at the phone bank.
Yeah.
Oh, let me just get an Airbnb real quick.
Yeah.
Now.
I lost my wallet. It's okay. I mean, today I didn't bring my wallet. I went to my haircut. I didn't bring my wallet in.
You're like,
I think honestly it's so funny.
I left my wallet in the car. I didn't have to bother. I had my Apple Pay.
The thing that jarred me just a touch, like y'all are talking about all these things, for me it was oh my God, they had to carry all that cash all the time. I was like, man, the future's plastic, brother. Just wait a little minute.
I don't know.
It's not even plastic anymore. It's all
electronic. How much on you?
I might be old school. I still think you should carry some cash.
No, I always do anyway, but I don't carry like all of my money on me, like $700.
No, I wouldn't.
I
wouldn't.
Or even $100. I've got like $20 on me.
But even back then, nobody was carrying $700.
Yeah, nobody's carrying.
That was a weird.
Yeah, I was like,
my father used to. Weird,
money.
like $400.
So what kind of?
Well,
because it depends on your trust in the banks. I don't know.
He had. What did he have? He had a Diners Club.
Yeah.
Which I will tell you, Savalas.
Who loves you, baby?
$700.
He had $700 in cash.
Yeah.
A Diners Club and a gas card.
Yeah.
That's all he had.
Yeah.
Which is also odd. Like, he would have had at least like a MasterCard or Visa.
And that's where I'm going with this. Now, not for nothing, but you are
an insurance executive.
No, he was advertising.
Advertising.
He's an
He's
advertising.
in advertising. He's got the suit. Like you,
he was
I
an
would,
ad exec for
Oh, yeah.
sure.
Right.
Yeah, that's
he's
what
an
it is.
exec.
He's an
I
ad exec.
absolutely think that you would have, I don't know, a fucking gold card, like an Amex or
Right.
like
Even back then,
something.
yeah.
I was really like I was so jarred about
That
that
was
whole
the thing back
situation. I was like, what a
Right,
what a
it's Amex,
weird
Visa, and the
way
Diners
for us
Club.
to
Yeah.
not have money right now. You know,
I don't know.
I'm like,
So
why'd
that
you
one
carry
turned
all
out-
that?
I'm like, dude.
You live in New York of all
he was
places too,
carrying an
or
inordinate
were
amount.
in.
He lived in
Not
Chicago
lived in,
and he was
right?
in New
but
York.
But he works
still,
in New
even
York. Still a lot
Chicago.
of traveling back and forth.
Right, but so yeah, he would have
Yeah.
had more. That's what I don't get. I'm like,
Like,
why
you do that
didn't
amount of
you
traveling
have
back and
that?
forth from your home
Yeah.
to work, like you'd think you'd have more. Like you would have to have more if you're doing that kind of traveling, especially if you have to like pay for shit and then you get expensed out.
I mean,
From your business,
I
you know what I mean?
I traveled from Boston to New York for about 6 months for an engagement at one point, and I don't think I carried much. I mean, I've only got a couple credit cards and some cash, but like not a whole lot. You don't need much.
Nowadays, no.
No, but that's what I'm saying though. At least more than just the fucking Diners Club and a gas card.
Yeah, the Diners Club is weird because that wasn't even like fully accepted everywhere. Like,
Right.
Not
I
back
can't
then.
believe it had like a Visa or a MasterCard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That kind of thing is weird.
Don Amici. No, that didn't.
Don't do it. Okay, good.
All right. I thought I had a sneeze.
All right, welcome back.
Hey. Hit me with a
yeah,
Don- hit me with a Don Amici.
It did strike me weird that he had $700 in cash.
That is
Yeah.
kind of
That's a weird
bizarre.
I'm so glad you guys thought that was weird too, because
Yeah,
I
that
was
was
like,
weird.
I was
Yeah, no,
like,
even back then it
why
wasn't a-
in the
Are you
world
gonna have
are you carrying
$7
that much money on you?
And seven's a weird
wasn't a
number.
thing,
So
wasn't
it's
a thing.
five.
Yeah, 5
So
or a
1,000, like
grand.
seven's a weird number.
Yeah.
Well, like,
See-
even back then, most people didn't carry that kind of cash.
Yeah,
100,
and I was
maybe two.
okay
Yeah.
that
and in '87, $700
I was saying,
more like
how much is that
$1,500.
worth? Right. So
Yeah.
at least
Nowadays.
double it.
Yeah, like
Yeah, dude, there's no way he's walking around with
nobody's
700.
just walking around with $1,500.
Well, how much did John Candy say he had? Did he have like
he had like
$200?
$263? Something.
$263. There it is.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
like,
that seems reasonable.
But he was also
Yeah.
like traveling around.
Yeah.
You know.
See, that I could get.
That makes
You
sense.
know, I
That
was like,
makes
this
sense.
Yeah, 'cause
is
he's a
much more
traveling
That would
reasonable
be
number.
like me being on the road and having $300-400 on me or
Good.
something like
I'm
Yeah.
that. Right?
so glad. Oh my god.
No,
I was like,
that was-
I was like, I don't think this is just a period. I think this is something going
just
on here.
weird.
But
And Visa and MasterCard were plenty big back then, so this weird.
that's what I was
yeah.
thinking too. I was like, y'all don't have, especially him. He didn't have a card or anything.
I mean, the Diners
You
Club
know,
was a
other than the
thing.
Diners Club, you
Well,
know,
the
and
Diners
was a
Club
gas
was a thing,
station.
but it wasn't.
It's
again,
not, it wasn't universally accepted.
No. No,
Right.
it was.
It's
It was.
so
it was
weird.
Amex wasn't even all. It was mostly Mastercard and Visa.
Yeah, Amex was more like you got to go to particular vendors.
Yeah.
At the time.
I
anyway.
mean, even like now, I think it's not as bad, but like I don't know, maybe like 10 years ago, I remember I was going to use my Amex card, and the guy was like, "Yeah, we don't accept that." I'm like, "Wait, what?" I'm
I
"It's American."
still make you.
So-
What the fuck's wrong with you?
So,
Like, I
so the
know.
reason why he wouldn't take it, the way he explained it to me, he got charged a certain percentage.
No, it's bullshit. It's bullshit. I own a business. And
Okay, so,
when
is
you're
it the same
accepting-
across the board for all cards?
It's not. It's
Okay.
not. Right. So Visa is like I forget.
All right, 'cause that's what he said. He
it's
said-
like a 1.2 or 1.3%.
Right, he said that the Amex was more expensive, so he that's why he
but
didn't collect
Amex is
it.
like 1.7%. Like it's not like Amex is like we're gonna 10 times the amount. It's not like they're taking 15% of the cut. It's like a couple,
Points higher.
hundreds of a percent more. So it's like
Okay, I
fine.
thought he said
just a
something
little
was
bit
like
more.
3 to 5%.
But
He was like, I just don't want to do
People who
it.
are like, I just can't take it. Fuck off, asshole. Like, it's the same bullshit. Discover card does the same kind of thing. And now you get some, credit card clearance centers that will, like, listen, we'll take all of them, we'll charge you a flat fee, and then we'll deal with the back end. So, like, vendors now, like 10, 15, 20 years ago, I get it. Like, it was,
Right.
it was a bigger impact.
And you find
Now-
more people pass it on these days.
Nowadays, that's right, they do. But nowadays, if anybody's like, yeah, we're not taking because of Amex, like, shut the fuck up. You don't even know. You don't know
did it for a
anything
long
about
time.
what you're getting charged.
We didn't for a long time. Like way back when Focused, well, it was Peace Warriors at the time.
Yeah.
We didn't take Amex originally because it was like a huge fee.
Yeah,
it was a
same.
huge
But
difference.
it's
but then
certainly
obviously
not like
then it was
that
just
anymore.
like it changed and
Yeah.
like to get the Amex was a much different
They're
thing.
a little
and then
bit
we had to
more
get
than the
approved
others,
and-
but they're not.
But then
far
it was
off
also just
anymore.
getting approved. For us, it was like getting approved to take Amex, which
I
was
don't recall any approval process.
oh yeah, we did. Like when doing the credit card thing, like you got approved. Visa, Mastercard was easy to get approved to take. Discover was as well, but Amex was a separate approval through Amex. So then we eventually went for it, and then obviously they approved it, but it was different at the time. So it was like, and it was more expensive. So I'm like, no, it's okay. But then eventually we did. So now we do. We take everything
Everything.
Everything.
except for cash.
I was about to say, what about cash?
We're not for memberships if we can help it.
Cash
Yeah.
is dirty.
Well, it's just too much of an effort. They have to chase everybody down for their cash at the beginning of the month.
I've got it in quarters.
Yeah, exactly.
I was just gonna say
Start
I gotta roll a
counting,
quarter.
nerd.
My brother did that. My brother did that at the movie theaters with a pack. I think it was dimes. Almost killed him. It was like a busy theater. We got there and he fucking put a bag of dimes. I'm like, I'm gonna kill you. So I'll pay for both. And I took his dimes.
Oh my!
Fucking asshole.
That's a crappy thing to
Friend
do.
of
I
mine
mean, like,
worked
there's
at
a
Dave &
crowd of people
Buster's, had the
behind
same
us, like,
thing
giving him the
happen.
death look. Like, you make this poor woman, like, count your dimes for a fucking movie. Like, it was, like, 10
Dimes.
something at the time. Like, you asshole. Take your dimes. Give it back to me later. I'll just pay for the
10,
fucking
20, 30,
movie.
40, 50, 60.
Oh my God.
That's $1.
Yeah.
Wait, is that a
You
stack
just
of
make
10?
stacks of them.
Yeah.
It's like, wait a minute.
Are those
That looks like
stacks
9.
even?
Hold on.
Let me
10,
double
20,
check.
30,
This
40.
is Dante, not
Like
Dino,
poker
as you can
chips. Like
imagine.
poker chips.
It was
Yeah.
Dante, not Dino.
Oh, it's Dante?
Yeah. Had a great joke about brothers. Somebody goes, they got a half brother. And then somebody goes, separate dads? He goes, nah, shark attack.
I saw that. I saw that today.
That was awesome.
I know you got
Shark
that.
attack. Yeah, that was funny. Shark attack.
Shark attack.
Shark attack.
I want to talk about actually the editing a little bit. Actually,
Ooh.
so because I found it very
Not a subject we
odd.
generally get into. I like this.
It happened at the end when they're in the hotel. Now they're friends, right? Because there was only one room left, and they had the 2 beds, and Steve Martin was able to pay for it with his watch. Poor John Cain sitting out there freezing his ass off. He's like, man, why don't you just come in? So now they're buddies, right? And they're drinking their 6-pack of nips, which I've never seen.
Where the fuck did they get all
I
that?
have no idea.
Right?
Was
I'm
it like
I thought we didn't have
hotel
money.
bar kind of thing?
I thought we were broke.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so there's the variety
Yeah.
pack of nips, right?
Yeah.
What kind of motel is this?
He's not picking apart the logistics.
They kind of skimmed over
They're
that
off
part.
the rails.
And now they have nips.
Now they have nips and pizza. Okay, cool, whatever.
Lovely.
Picking apart the
So now-
logistics here. We're going off the rails.
Yeah, so now they're talking, and he was like, "All right,
Unravel.
so where do you want to go over there?" And Steve Martin goes, "What's that? Is there a couple tequilas over there?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "I'll take one of those." He goes, "Oh, you're going to Mexico?" So he gives him the tequila. He goes, "Me, I'm gonna go to Jamaica, man." He starts giving the Jamaican accent, Jamaican rum, man.
Irie.
Irie. That was a bottle of that nip was Bacardi. Bacardi's in fucking Puerto Rico, not in Jamaica. Just
It was
want to
probably
point
half
that
in the
out.
bag.
I wasn't paying that close attention. Was it Bacardi? Yeah.
It was Bacardi.
That's
But was
so
he like
funny.
half in the bag at that point anyway?
I don't care.
I think it was too cold.
I mean, if he's half in the bag and frozen solid, I gotta give him a little
No,
leeway.
no,
to
they're eating fucking
But it's
pizza.
also John Candy, who's an idiot, except for when he's selling shit. Like, most of the shit he says is just off the cuff,
listen.
Yeah.
dumb as a stump. I gotta give him a little
Bullshit.
bit of leeway to make mistakes.
No, fuck that.
This is the
he
hail
was like
today.
a
guy was just
No,
like,
no, 'cause he was
the
like, it's
console's
Jamaican.
melted.
He was like Jamaican rum,
the radio
man.
works.
Hey, man, I Jamaican rum, and it's Bacardi. I'm like, Right behind that, so now, Steve Martin has tequila. They talk about the wife. That's where he has the big wife speech of the family, right? And they
Yeah.
do this. That the wife chose. He goes, all right,
Right, heart to
here's-
heart, Logan.
heart to heart. Here's to the wives. They go back to Steve Martin, and he's drinking vodka. And I went, what the fuck just happened? He
Mother
gave you
just moved to
tequila.
Russia.
Cuts there.
You did
A lot of bad
What the
cuts.
fuck just happened there? And that one, it
How
bothered
many
me. 'Cause I'm-
takes was that then?
I don't
What was
know.
going
Yeah,
on
They
there?
must not have had a continuity person, right?
And maybe because I was
Well,
like,
they
wait a
did.
minute.
He's just asleep and not paid well.
That
I mean, I doubt in '87 they had continuity people. They just didn't.
Yeah, not as much as they
nearly.
do
that.
today.
No, whatever.
No,
Just pick
listen,
up
No,
one of
because
the
remember
nips.
back in the day, people were not scrutinizing because there wasn't streaming, and you couldn't necessarily.
You go, you watch it once.
And that was it.
And then you-
and that's
Maybe
it.
you get it
And
on
then-
DVD, but
that's cute.
97.
Then you gotta wait for
Later.
VHS.
Videotape.
Oh,
You
yeah.
gotta wait for
Oh,
the tape.
VHS.
You gotta wait to go to
Mila.
Blockbuster.
So
You gotta go
cute.
wait to go to
Silly me.
Blockbuster.
But even
to
back
rent it.
then, people didn't necessarily pause and rewind. There wasn't that.
Oh, it depends on the
one
movie. I
Unless
mean,
it was
basically,
Star
right,
Wars,
go
no one was
on,
doing
Other
pause
than
and
porn,
rewind.
there wasn't really a reason to. There wasn't really so much of a reason to.
Wait, did you see that? Hold on, pause, rewind. Come check this
What
out.
the fuck?
Pause, rewind.
Like,
Play.
then pause. And
Pause.
Then,
Slow.
The image just burns into the TV.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, every time
Oh,
you shut the
shit.
TV on, I'll be like, oh, this
My mother's
vagina.
coming over. I gotta throw out this TV.
womp womp.
Another question.
Fucking
Pause for
podcast
too
just
long
took a
as it
turn.
burns the tape.
Yeah. Now I've got another question for you guys.
Your goddamn turn here.
Maybe not for you.
Yeah,
'cause-
probably not.
Well, no.
Maybe. I'll chime in if I've got something.
How fast do you drive normally?
Well, it depends on what
Yes,
you're
I
wearing.
know exactly where you're going with this.
Thank you.
What-
And I
what
was
do you
like,
mean by
whoa,
that?
not today's day.
Yeah.
He
So,
got
talking
pulled
on, like,
over
the
for
highway?
doing 78.
oh, I'm not even talking about that.
Okay, I thought you were talking about that too. What are you
that's
talking
fine.
about?
78. That's like, all right, dude. Like today.
Yeah, I was like, come on.
I was
Yeah, I
drunk.
was like, I do 78 on the
Relax.
side
Dude,
streets.
I got
somewhere.
smoked by like a van, a mom's soccer van by like 80 this morning. I'm going to work. I'm like, it is 5:45 in the morning. Why are you going so fast?
Yeah.
You're in a soccer minivan.
Oh, it's crazy.
No, that's a funny. But no, there was something else. On average, how fast do you think you guys drive?
Like,
Just
are we
on
talking
average.
back roads or highway?
No. Highway.
Oh, highway like 70, 80.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm like 70-ish, 77.
72.
72 on the dot. I love it. So how long do you think it would take you to drive 102 miles?
It
Quick
would
math.
take 1 hour.
Probably about an hour and a half?
And, yeah.
Let's round it. Hour and a
An
half.
hour and a half.
Yeah.
All right.
So when the car is flambe, they're sitting on the trunk.
Yeah.
He turns around. There's a sign right behind him that says Chicago, 102 miles.
Yes. Yep.
The car gets impounded. Because now that's nighttime. So they drove enough. Oh, no, because they stay at the hotel.
Yeah.
They leave the next day. They're driving. The car gets impounded. They get a ride from the truck, the big tractor trailer guy. He's like,
Yeah,
yeah, you got to sit in the
3.5
back of the
hours.
Yeah.
Well, you'll be in Chicago in 3 hours. I'm sorry. What? It's
Well,
an
I
hour and a
mean-
half drive from where they were
And truck
last
drivers
night.
don't drive slow.
It could have
From
been
last
where the
night.
driver had to go. I don't know.
But I mean,
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
also, was it snowing or was it shitty out?
I don't give a fuck.
Okay, well there you go. Well, Larry drives 190 miles an hour no matter
It's
what
an
the weather
hour
is.
and a half max, and that's going 60. You already drove. I don't know where the hotel was that they stayed at, but you were already driving. And not for nothing, if it's only another hour and a half drive, why the fuck did you stop? Just keep going. You're in Chicago in an hour and a half. Why not? That's all you want to do is go home.
That's the thing. Like, that's the one thing that I did. I was thinking the same thing. Like, why did they stop?
didn't catch this. I
Just
was
drive
paying attention.
through the night. Just keep driving. You're like, you want to get there on time. You're exhausted. You got nowhere to sleep, nowhere to stay. Just keep going.
You have no money.
Yeah.
Just fucking go.
Gas up and go. Right.
Just see ya.
Yeah.
So that's part of the thing that I was like,
But I mean, it wouldn't have been as
You
fun.
picking out
It
all
wouldn't have been as
the
fun.
discrepancies
You're really
here.
unraveling. You're really
Oh my
unraveling.
God.
just that.
But remember,
little-
the whole movie
that-
was about, you know, the journey. And,
Yeah, right,
and the
right.
mishaps along
Yeah.
the way. And so if they don't make some bad choices, then you can't have a story.
Right, and I had enough of that. I feel like
Yeah.
because now again you're writing the rules of the movie that I'm
It
watching.
was my Thanksgiving tradition. Thanks, Larry.
Wow.
Fucking unravel this
Day
movie for me.
ruined.
Fucking-
Listen, she still thinks fucking Nakatomi Plaza is real, and that's really a Christmas movie. So there's
No,
that.
that was,
Hey,
isn't
man.
that the, that building that they used is
Was
like
Sony.
the Sony
Yeah, it's a Sony
headquarters.
building. They were actually doing construction
real
there.
building, yeah.
Yeah, they were doing construction on those
Yeah.
when they were filming. Yeah.
And they're like, oh yeah, we should
like, we
film
should-
here.
we should blow this up.
We should make this take longer.
But other than that, like just those little bits, I was like, hey, wait a minute.
If he really wanted to get home, he wouldn't have stopped.
He would have
Yeah.
stopped. He would have
Yeah.
kept going. Especially being that close. Like, dude, fuck it, just go.
Yeah.
Just go. I'm okay
Done
with
it.
everything
But
else.
there was a bunch of stuff like that you like. He wouldn't have done that. Like when he had when he was driving at night, he's trying to take his coat off, and his first arm got caught back there. He wouldn't have been like, "Let me just try to do my second arm." Like he would have just pulled over,
Yeah.
taken his coat off, and then continue.
Continue.
Yeah. Or like when he's driving with both hands stuck back there, use your fucking knee to control where the car goes. Instead, you see a cut of the wheel just like like back and forth. So like, you know, but again, without stupid shit decisions,
Yeah.
Right.
you don't have a movie.
So, but
Right.
again, like those stupid decisions, I was like, all right, that's pretty funny.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
again, when you show me 102 miles
Yeah,
to
it shouldn't
Chicago,
have been 102.
Yeah.
it's like, and I was like, wait a minute, did that just say 100? Because like, it's a clear sign.
Yeah.
So it's not like it was like
Yeah.
off in the distance. It was actually between them and the car. So it was right there.
It's
and I'm
not like they stopped for gas or anything. You know, it's not like they had to stop for like food. They were just.
the car was flambe, and they're like, fucking great. And I'm like, wait a minute, that's just 102 miles. Why the fuck didn't you just keep? What?
You're almost there.
You're almost
Just
there,
go,
dude.
just go.
go.
Yeah.
I mean, and clearly,
So wait. So the car
was flambe.
burned.
Yep.
But you're okay with that. But you're bullshit that it was on 102 miles.
Oh no! Listen, the whole car. No,
The car functioning.
no.
Hey man,
Oh,
it
no.
beats walking.
Completely burnt
In my
out.
notes.
Have you ever seen or been near a car that's on fire?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I've
There's no fucking
Yeah,
way.
it is so fucking hot. Everything
Yeah.
melts. That car becomes
yeah.
just like one big
Yeah, we had it
melted-
outside the old building, remember?
one big
Yeah, I
melted
do.
piece of
Remember
metal.
that? We were watching the car on fire outside the old building.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Good
I've
times.
actually seen a couple cars. One of them was when I was working at the Galleria Mall, and they were parked in the upstairs, like between Sears and Leachbeer. They were like there was like the second or third floor. There was a car fire.
Yeah.
And I was working at the mall. I was like, oh
There's
fuck!
always some bullshit going on at the gallery.
Oh god, yeah. I mean, I haven't.
I was
been
in a
there
bus
years.
that was on fire. That was fun.
Oh yeah.
Sounds fun.
My
Yeah.
6th grade camp, yeah.
Yeah.
It was great.
Exciting.
My sleeping bag.
I was gonna say we're
caused the
sleeping
bus to
back
go on
on
fire.
Yeah.
You were sleeping bag?
Yes.
So it was your fault.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, it was an old like army sleeping bag, one of those big green. Do you remember that sleeping bag? I don't even remember it.
I don't
it was,
remember
It
that
had
one.
like, it was filled with like asbestos and hate. So like it was it was there. It was
Well, if it had asbestos in it, it wouldn't have gone up.
there was something in there. It was pushed up against the side where the engine is.
Okay.
And so like we're just like driving, and all of a sudden like we like you smell smoke. The whole cabin was being filled with smoke. You smell that? It was just all covered with smoke. So they pulled over and they dragged everything out from underneath. And you see people like going through their shit, and you see little smoke damage, little burn mark, whatever. I'm like, where the fuck is my sleeping bag? And I look way over. I see this burnt cinder. Just like completely charred. So I'm like, well, that's my sleeping bag.
Wow.
It was barely recognizable. It was completely charred. And if you look, and I looked inside the luggage compartment, it was a big black mark right up against where the engine compartment was. They definitely put my sleeping bag right up against that. And good thing I wasn't in that.
Shouldn't have gotten that hot. That's an issue back there.
I mean, it was a really old sleeping bag. It looked like an army issue sleeping bag. This was not. I don't remember where the fuck we got this. This was definitely not something
Probably
we
the
bought.
Army
Supply
surplus.
store, yeah. It was not something we bought. Like it definitely got handed down to us from somewhere.
Yeah.
So like six
Just
of
made
us.
it paper and dipped in lighter fluid.
Something. We had to go. Six of us. Six of us had to go back, get new shit, and then go back on the short bus the next day.
I knew I shouldn't have bought the cheap version. Goddamn Amazon.
So we had to go to the short bus the next day. Get back. That was fun.
So it's all your fault.
That's the
that
only
bus-
reason you had to go to the short bus?
That was it. Got my helmet, my chin strap.
It's not because you were licking the windows.
Windows taste great.
They did.
Stop.
You would know.
I love lamp.
So we, it's funny that we say this. The
Brett
job
killed a guy. Sorry.
Well, that escalated quickly.
Whoa.
Trident.
For a while.
The job site that I'm on,
Trident?
there's no parking on the site. So what we have to do is we actually have to park down the street at the Walmart parking lot, which is 0.7 miles away from the job site. So we're like, how the fuck do you expect us
That's
to
a
go?
hike.
That's a hike, dude.
A light jog.
It's in Revere. And it's like we have to cross like over the bridge. I was like, how the fuck? So my company, they got us a short bus. They bought a short bus.
Yeah.
And they're like,
Every
look.
day, Larry's licking the windows on the way to work.
All right,
we
guys,
all-
put your helmets on.
We have our hard hats.
Helmets
Yeah, there you go.
So the first day, the bus
Osho
pulls
would
up,
be happy.
and we were like, "Oh yeah," and they're like, "Are you fucking kidding?" I was like, "I'm so licking the windows." So now we pull up to the job site. We're all in there, and my project manager is sitting there and goes, "Oh my god, I didn't think it was gonna look like this." I go, "You put all us idiots in this thing. Of course, what did you think it's gonna look like?"
I'm third.
Yeah, but it's always an adventure every
Get
day.
you all those stickers put in your heart. I'm waiting for the short bus.
For the short bus. I'm on the short bus.
Did I miss the short bus?
No.
Shit.
What are we at? 48?
48. Do we need to, is it that time, Larry?
I think it's that time.
Oh.
All right.
Let's do it.
1987. It's John Cain and Steve Martin. It's a John Hughes flick.
This is not an expensive movie.
I can't imagine it's that expensive.
I mean, there's some location shit, right? There's location stuff, right?
Speaking
The
of
traveling,
location,
things
speaking of the
like that.
location,
Vehicles.
everything was done in New York, except for
For that sign.
Some of that one side.
One
except for that side that says
sign.
Chicago. What do you know too? So
Would
everything was
they
done
use
in
B-reel for like the Chicago skyline?
maybe I think so. 'Cause
Probably,
so I was
yeah.
like, there was two locations that was not New York, and it's like one of them was the airport, that was really shot there in Wichita. And there was one other place too that it wasn't shot, but everything else was basically shot in New York. So 'cause I mean, upstate New York is it's vastly different than
Yeah,
like
it's very
Maine, New
rural,
York.
yeah.
It's vastly different. So you can get away with saying we're in the middle of fucking Kansas or whatever.
Yeah, it's very
in
rural.
upstate New York.
Yeah.
And it was the winter time, so it's like a lot of snow.
Yeah,
So it's easy.
I mean,
Nobody's
Sure.
going to be able to be like, no, that road is not.
I recognize that road. That's
Wait a
not.
minute, that's not the real
That's not
point.
Utah.
Now, wait a minute.
Yeah.
So what do we got for a budget?
I'm going 15 at best. 15 mil.
I'm going to say, that's a pretty good guess. I'm going to say probably closer to 20.
Okay.
19, that'll be my guess.
19. Mila.
Mila, 200 million.
$1,000 only. No,
$1.
I meant $100 million. No. I was
Dr.
gonna
Abel.
guess like something wildly lower. But I'll go a little higher than what I initially thought, and I'll say 12 mil.
You're all pretty good, except for him. He's spot on. 15 mil was the
Even?
budget. I mean, that's
No.
15 mil.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
15 mil was the
All
budget.
I
right.
should have gone 1501.
1501.
Son of a bitch.
Fuck, that one time.
No, you should have gone 15 because 15 more. What
What's
is
the
over?
gross?
Ooh.
I mean, I think it did well.
I think it did well. But, I mean, it's still
Y'all
like,
were there.
I mean,
Was it like
87
theaters?
million.
You know, everyone
That's
was
my
going to
guess.
it.
87
Oh,
million.
shit. That's a big number.
87 million.
It's a big number.
Wow. You came out shooting with that one. You're like,
Big
80
time.
87 sounds good. 15 to 87. Yep, done.
I'll go. Wait, what did you say?
He said 87.
87.
56 million. 56.
51.
Did you cheat?
No.
49.7.
No.
49.7.
49.7.
Wow.
I was over. We're all over.
You're all over.
Yeah, we all lose.
But yeah, so it made
I just want to
49.
go lower than her.
Wait,
So,
I know,
the
whack
2.5
job should have
that
stuff
did it.
answers
Yeah,
on.
so-
It made money. It was
it
successful.
made money.
Yeah,
and
it's still
and
at the
acclaimed.
2.5,
And
yeah.
I think it said.
That's crazy.
Actually have it up right.
Yeah,
I think
about
I think it made something like
3x there.
there it is right there. Biggie bangy.
Let's go with the math.
Yeah, that's a
People are expecting it. Do you understand? The people, the good people are expecting it.
That's a three-bagger.
Oh yeah. Opening weekend it made 7 mil. So
Wow,
again,
that's
this is an
pretty solid.
87. So
That's pretty
it
good.
opened up with it got half its budget back within the first weekend.
Yeah.
That's pretty fucking good if you can
Yeah.
bang that.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't know that you get that. I think you need 2.5 in order to be successful.
Successful,
because
right.
A big cut of that goes to the movie theaters themselves, right? So even though they made 7, they probably didn't see 7. They probably saw 2.
Right, no, I'm well aware of that. I'm saying just the take for that opening weekend, regardless
Yeah.
of wherever it ends
Real
up
good.
going.
Real
but
good.
the take for that weekend, opening
Yeah.
week was 7 mil. So if
Yeah.
you could have, I think that if you get half your budget back, right, just complete take.
Yeah.
In the first opening weekend, you're like, fuck.
You're in a good
Surprised they
roll.
never did a second one.
But what do you do
well,
though?
what's the story?
Hey, we got to go travel again. Like
Yeah.
we've.
I mean, they've done worse. Like they've
Although
done,
in the
they've done
80s,
shit like that again
sometimes it
and
also make
again.
an unnecessary second movie.
No, I'm not saying I wanted a second
Right,
one.
no,
I'm not
no,
saying
no,
they
no.
should
I'm
have
not
done a
assuming
second
you
one.
are.
I think it definitely would have, like
It
the
would have
Christmas
not been-
vacations and the Christmas stories, where they've done multiples in their absolute shit. I'm glad they didn't do a second one.
Oh, yeah.
But the Machine, I'm surprised at having it done so well. I'm surprised the Machine didn't try to pop out another
I mean,
one.
John Hughes didn't really make a bunch of sequels, right?
He wasn't a
No.
big sequel
He
guy.
wasn't.
No, but a lot of
Yeah.
times the studio will be like, okay, you don't want to do, but we're gonna take it because since we own it,
Yeah.
and we're gonna take it and just pop out a sequel. Look at, like I said, the Christmas Story. They made 2 or 3, and they and it wasn't from the
Yeah.
original people.
But I think
right, and
all
then
of-
same thing with Christmas, the Vacations.
I think that John Hughes owns all this shit though. Like it's not. It's like it's John Hughes Entertainment on this one, and that actually kind of threw it. Like he wrote it, he directed it, he produced it.
Yeah.
Like this particular one, this is all him.
Who distributed it?
Shit. Fuck.
That's
Do you know it was
weird
gonna be a
name.
test, did you, Larry?
LLC.
Didn't realize it was gonna be a test.
Yeah. My bad. I guess. I don't
I can't believe you're this unprepared.
super unprepared. I'm so sorry. Yeah. I don't know. All right, how about that? I don't know.
So I mean, it just goes into who
We'll just
really
guess.
owns the movie per
I
se.
mean, so
Oh, so it was released by Paramount.
Right.
Paramount. That's right. I couldn't get Miramar out of my head.
Yeah, oh yeah, there it is.
Miramax,
yeah.
So it got put up by Paramount, but I think in these days it's you had John Hughes, and at this time it was the late '80s. He had already put out movies, so I think that he had enough clout.
He'd already done Ferris Bueller. He'd already done Weird Science.
So,
This is
okay,
the
so-
third in the row.
So this is the first one, and they commented on it that this is the first one that he that he went away from the teenage angst.
Yes.
He did all the teenage angst movies. So when he came out with this, they were like, oh, this is fucking different.
Yeah.
So that was a big part of it too. So I think that was I think that when they released it, they agreed to release it. It was kind of like a risk because you're taking this director that's known for certain genres.
Teenage movies, right.
And now suddenly he's gonna do something.
Your Breakfast Clubs, you're putting in Pink.
Right.
Yeah.
So now he's gonna do something completely different. What the fuck?
Yeah.
So. I
It's
mean,
interesting.
so maybe he just kind of said, you know what, I want to put this out, and he put his name all over this thing. So,
It worked.
Yeah, but I mean, again, though, as far as a sequel, like, what do you?
I don't know that you can make a good sequel out of it. I think it's
You
like a
couldn't.
story you wrote for this particular
Well,
one.
I
was-
mean, I don't know. I mean, you have City Slickers. You have City Slickers 2.
You can't
I'm
have
not saying
them
I'm
have
not saying
that.
by any stretch that the second
So,
one is nearly as good as the first one.
I thought
I
maybe
don't
that's
think
why.
you
The
want to
first one was like
compare-
hitting gold, but like the second one's kind of like,
I don't know,
all right.
you can't-
You go on the journey again with them, right? They go on the trail again. You know what I mean?
I feel like the thing is, like, with the title Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, like, would mean that they're going to get into something similar again.
Yeah, so you do,
it
like,
would be
boats,
so out.
submarines,
I know, I'm going
Like-
boats, go-karts, and...
Right, I'm like, what would you do?
You got
Like,
speed.
you can't-
You got speed too. It's on a
Like,
fucking
you can't
boat.
have that happen again.
Still sucked.
I don't think
Or else
I don't
it's
think you
just
should
a-
compare by saying what about this, what about that. I think this was a movie like, could you do it? Yes. Should you do it? No.
Right,
I think
no,
they
that's
did-
what I said.
I think they made the
I'm
right choice.
surprised they did it. That's all I'm saying. Having made the money it made, knowing studios and just like, right, this was a hit. Let's make another one. Let's
Nah,
churn out another one.
I don't feel like
Die
in the
Hard. Look how many
80s
Die Hards they've made. Like this
I know.
motherfucker keeps getting with people. He was in the building. Then he's at the airport. Then he's in New York, and the motherfuckers are
But
chasing him down.
I think
Like,
we hit on the.
Jesus.
I think we hit on the reason
expandable
already.
Story. That's an expandable story. This
With the
was
same guy who keeps getting into
two
big
guys.
shit. You know what I mean? Like, why is
is
this
it
fucking
called?
guy always centered around this crap?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's unrealistic, and it's a movie. What they went through, this whole thing is completely unrealistic.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I've done a bunch of travel. I've run into a bunch of shit. Like,
Right, but in one trip,
In a horrifying
every-
alternate universe,
so
I'm
Did your
sure
car
you-
catch on fire? Did you? Were you going the
not that
wrong
much.
way?
This
Did you
is an
fall asleep?
exaggeration for sure. But
Yeah.
like, I mean, I've
Some
been
people just
trying to
got
get
luck like
home.
that.
It's been wintertime. I was on a twin prop. One of the engines went out, and then the person.
What are you doing on a Buddy Holly killing plane?
I mean,
Get your ass off the fucking
that's
plane
when
like
I was
that.
going back and forth to New York. We landed up in Long
so
Island.
so you
we
see
were
those
taking
little
puddle jumpers.
small, those little small
Yeah,
planes.
twice a week for 6 months. It was fucking nuts.
That flight takes like 45 minutes.
Yeah, 30 to 40
Yeah,
minutes.
it's like you go up, flatten, and come
they
right
don't
back
even
down.
close the cockpit doors. And you can look out the front window, and you realize, like, I tell you, man, I've done a lot of flying in my life, but you get really comfortable with turbulence when you're in those little twin props. Because when you look out the window, if you're just like looking out the side,
Just reminds you of the old
you
days of the
just
station wagon.
hear. No, but like you just hear, you feel kind of the turbulence, and you're like, all right, it's kind of turbulent out there. When you're looking out, when you can see out the front because they don't bother closing those
Yeah.
doors, you realize the plane's flying like sideways. Like you're not pointing straight where
Yeah,
you're
like,
going.
wait a minute.
The plane is tilted like 4, 5, 6 degrees to the left, but you're flying kind of that way, and it's crazy. So as the turbulence happens, you're like, well. You know, I gotta try. Like as a physics guy, I'm like, I understand more about like how the plane flies, and I'm like, it's not gonna go down due to turbulence. But it's viscerally, you're like, it doesn't matter what I think. I feel like I'm gonna fucking go down.
Yeah.
So I was on a flight. It was like 9 or 10 at night. We had already been delayed. It was snowing out. We take off. We're heading back to Boston. We're like maybe halfway there, 15 minutes into the trip, the pilot comes over the intercom. Well, all right, you might have noticed off your right side window that there's smoke coming out of the engine. That's engine 1. We're going to shut it down. Don't worry about it. We have plenty of juice on the left engine to get us to Boston.
Coom, coom, coom.
So like,
Glide happily into
me and the
whatever
other people
fucking
around
field we
me,
find.
Yeah, we're looking out like, what the fuck? And so like we landed, but then we didn't just land like you normally land. You come in smooth and you slowly come
fuck,
down.
you've only got one.
We got when these
Fucking Tokyo drifted into the country.
they fit. Yeah. They fit these twin props in between all the 747s and the 730. Like they're like, all right, Joe, you can land. You got 30 seconds to fucking land. Go.
You got this.
And the pilot up front's like, go, release the fucking monkeys. And so the plane, we ended up every time
shifting, pulling in, fucking braking.
We would always be like heading down hard at like perpendicular to the airport, and then take a sharp 90 and like nail the runway, you know? Or
Oh my
at
God.
one point, there was one point where in this flight, the guy was like, well, we can't take a normal, tack into the port there, so what we're gonna do is, like, they came in at about a 45-degree angle to the runway, and then we corkscrewed down. We did a full 360 corkscrew and then landed about 10 seconds later. It was fucking crazy.
He started explaining. He's just
Oh
like,
my God.
I'm gonna explain it. Listen, have you ever seen Ace Ventura 2?
Oh my God.
Like a glove.
Yeah. We essentially
Spectacular.
drifted
Oh
in.
my
His
God.
land holds great beauty.
Jesus.
And, when you're bouncing off the tarmac, it's like boom, and then like we go like 10 feet into the air, and then like down, and then they just fucking, and then they don't have, on the big jets, you're landing and there's air, turbulent air, and like the jet does a little bit of the rocking.
Yeah.
In those little twin props, it doesn't just rock you. You get thrown around the tarmac as like you're taking like 30 feet off the center line, and it comes back in. It is crazy. And after a while, I was like, well, it's in God's hands. Like, I'm either gonna die today, or I'm gonna get home, and it's gonna be
Everybody
okay.
looks like the motherfucker in an airplane who was shaving in the bathroom.
Oh, yeah.
And look at this.
Oh my God!
It's funny to say that.
Thank you for flying with us.
When I was younger,
But you just learn to trust.
Oh yeah. Well, when I was younger, I lived I lived in upstate New York. I lived right outside of Albany, and still, my whole family was still down here, right? So every couple of months, whatever, we would do that. We'd jump onto the little plane. My father's like, "Yeah, listen, we got to go to Cambridge." I'm like, "All right, whatever, let's go." I'm going to Cambridge for the weekend or whatever. And it was just like little weekend trips. Get on the plane in upstate and just take the little plane and fly down. I was like, wow. I always flew because I have family in Canada.
Yeah.
So we would fly. We'd do two ways, either fly or drive. When my grandmother didn't want to fly anymore, drive so much, she was like, nah, let's just fly. So I remember going up there like that. So flying this little plane, I was like, wow, that thing's tiny.
Yeah.
What the fuck? I look at my dad, and that's when I was like, so it takes us no time at all to I didn't even fall asleep, and I fall asleep anywhere.
Yeah.
But didn't even fall asleep. It's like you're up, you level, you come right
And
back
you're
down.
down.
I'm like, the fuck? That's weird.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, why do we climb to 20,000 feet? We just should have just stayed around 10 and
Just hang out.
Hang out.
What the fuck?
yeah.
Might
yeah.
hit a couple buildings, but it's all right.
I mean, whatever.
To the left.
Don't complain.
Just lean. Everything to the left.
Everybody waving the windows.
Yeah.
We did the same thing, little puddle jumpers across when we went to Greece for our honeymoon. We went up and down from island to island.
Oh yeah.
You can take like a 3-hour boat ride.
yeah.
Or it's like a 20-minute airplane ride, and it's just like you're climbing at a steep angle, and then you essentially just dive.
It's a roller coaster.
For the next 10 minutes, and you're there.
That's how it was when so same thing with us for our honeymoon. We're in Hawaii. We went from Waikiki to
Maui.
no, we went to Oahu.
Oahu.
And it was literally like that. It was like up and then right back down.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, that was a nice little. All right, so here we are.
Yeah, but the first 10 minutes you're staring at the sun as you climb.
Yeah.
And the second 10 minutes you're staring at the water as you're diving, and it's like, all right, this is intense.
It's happening.
Pretty intense.
Yeah. Yeah. So my second bus adventure was the time we went to
You and
Canada.
buses.
Yeah, if you see me on a bus, get the fuck off.
So the story is don't go with you.
Yeah, don't ever. It's like Tom Hanks.
Starting
Don't
to see
travel
a
with Tom
pattern
Hanks.
here.
Don't travel with Tom Hanks. Don't travel with me on a bus.
Right. You'll either get stranded on an island.
Yeah,
or-
you're fucked.
I'm sorry, it's Kauai that I went to. My bad. Or from Waikiki to Kauai. Go on.
Okay, so we went up to Montreal with Esposito's with the crew to take Dickie Kimber to fight Dennis Alexio, and we were on the way, and the whole trip was kind of fucked up. The way back, we're on the bus coming down, and we're on like this 2-lane highway coming down like in the middle of fucking nowhere, and it's snowing and shit, and the traffic just got all jammed up, and the bus went off the fucking road. And so the bus, and it's like those highways where like the side of the road just goes, down.
Yeah.
So we're just like, hey, we're going off the side of the road. Is everybody, we're going off? Yep, we're going off. We're going off the fucking side of the road. The bus just starts going. Literally starts tilting.
Was it snowing, raining?
No, snowing. The ground was all slick and everything like that. So the bus started sliding.
Yeah.
And it tried to stay. It was going to slam into people, but it just kind of sliding off the road. And there was no guardrails or shit for it to bounce off of. So it was just fucking sliding off the highway. And like one of the black folks was like, we're all gonna fucking die. I'm like, whoa, you're a tough one. Now, mind you, I'm in the back, the very last seat on the right. We're falling to the left, right? And I'm looking around at people. I looked at one of my old girlfriends, and I looked at her and I go, can you believe this? She's like, aren't you fucking scared? I'm like, I was already in a bus that was on fire.
Yeah.
This is really not a problem.
This is nothing.
So this is nothing.
just the
Honestly, it's not on fire. So what the fuck do I care? So we're going down, and like all snow built under the bus, shit like that. And the only thing that stopped the bus from completely toppling was the snow that gathered, and the bus driver was smart enough to leave the bus running, so the air compression that the bus from toppling kept us
so he's done that
up.
before.
Nice. Apparently this has happened before. He's done this trip a lot.
Standard procedure.
And so we all had to file off the bus left side first, so we keep the weight on the right side. Who was the idiot, the last one on the right? That was me. That was the last asshole off the bus. Now you stay right there. Okay.
Don't move.
Don't move. No, you feel that slipping?
The bus depends on you.
It really did. At that point, it really did. So yeah, that was an interesting trip.
We were driving to New Hampshire, same type of thing, in this like snowstorm. There was a car maybe 100 yards ahead of us on the highway, and all of a sudden it just started to spin. It did a full 360 and just slowly careened off the left side of the highway, and we couldn't stop. We're just like, well, I hope that guy's okay. Like, it was crazy.
Yeah. Some great. Anybody else travel fun travel adventures? Since we're talking about planes, trains, and automobiles.
The one time that I was in Portugal, I've only been over there once. To go from where my family's actually from, they're from the northeast part of the island, Nordeste, and to travel, now it's like a 15-minute drive because like they added a highway and stuff like that,
right.
like modern technology, right?
Back then, no way.
Back then it was like a 2-hour bus ride and everybody got on the bus.
Right.
There's only one road and they call it the Rua da Cabra. It's basically it's Goat's Road.
Bless you.
Yeah.
Right. And so the idea of it is the farmers, they would go from the countryside down to the city, right? And they would take their stock with them, their livestock, and they would eat
And
the
they'd
pets.
walk them in the middle of the roads.
So they would like eat a
do that
path,
in
and they
Italy,
had a
too.
little pet, and so time comes and they just fucking put pavement on it. Now that's great and all, but it's on the side of a cliff. Okay. But it's a fucking two-way.
Oh, yeah.
It's two-way. The road ain't much bigger than these two tables put together, and you have a bus going down one side, and the car coming up the other side, and you want to talk about being. I never went over, but this is the first time I've ever been that close to like, oh my god, shit myself.
Yeah.
I remember we were driving down to the city. No, we were driving up. That's right. We had left the city to go to when my father and all my uncles and aunts where they actually. Right, they're from. We still got family in that spot. So I was driving up. I was like, "Oh my god!" But you see everybody with like, it's like those videos. It's like everybody's got like their luggage and people are sitting up top, and there's like 5 people in a 2-person seat, and it's fucking wild. And I just looked at my father. I was like, "Is this really fucking happening?" He's like, "Yeah, we'll be fine." I'm like, "Dude, we're gonna go over the fucking
fine.
side." I was like, "Dude,
Maybe the goat should have picked
I'm
a different
going.
path.
There's fucking cars coming towards us. I don't know if we've got enough room, Jack." Which I mean, that's
That's like a lot of the roads. Have you been to Italy and Amalfi?
No.
Yes.
The Amalfi Coast.
Yes, we did
But,
that.
yeah.
If you drive in on the road from the south,
Fucking nuts.
it's the same thing. It's like a,
So we went and we went in the bus, and there was
somehow-
2 buses passing each other
Oh, yeah.
underneath the house. So they had to like
Insane.
get the guys out of the bus, and they're folding in the side mirrors, and they had to direct the buses because the buses were passing each other underneath one of the houses, like it's like a bridge, and they're like
Jesus.
literally that close, like a
Yeah,
hair,
I've
like
seen
literally
pictures
like
and videos.
a rat's ass
It's
hair
crazy.
away from each other, like trying to patch it without like scraping the buses together. They had to fold in the mirrors so they wouldn't slam into each other, and you're like inching along at like an inch a minute just so they wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
Like there's just
Oh my
cars piling
God.
up behind you. They have to go that slow because if the bus even just shifts a little bit, you're gonna
Yeah,
bounce off each
but
other.
everybody knows that. So that
they're
I'm
used
sure
to
when
it.
you're
They're
driving,
used
you're
to
like,
it,
okay, I'm behind
Yeah.
us, no problem.
Yeah.
Oh fuck, there's another bus coming.
Yeah, I
Great.
feel the same way when I get behind a school bus.
This is
I'm
gonna be
like,
like another 45-minute fucking
You
ride.
feel the same way when you go and you're
project.
trying to get to work and
God.
you're behind a school bus. You're like, fuck.
Yep.
Oh my god.
This is gonna stop at every goddamn corner to let kids off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a pet peeve with that because I run into that every morning during the school year,
Yeah.
and there's always a bus, and I'm like, if it's like, I gotta
I just
to a
left 2
particular
minutes earlier.
intersection 1 minute before the bus.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm absolutely screwed
You're
the whole
stuck,
way
yeah.
down.
Yeah.
And like they gotta stop and pick up a kid every fucking 100 yards. What happened to bus stops? Just have the kids all show up at one fucking bus stop, and then you pick them up.
So
how hard is that?
I noticed that.
Yeah.
It's not like
They don't
that
have to.
anymore.
No, the kids don't have to walk anymore. They walk like outside
Like,
their
they
house.
go outside
and
the
that's
house.
it.
They drop
and
them
that's
off
it.
at every one of their houses. How about you drop them off at a fucking bus stop and they walk fucking 100 feet?
Yeah.
No, they don't have to do that anymore.
Oh my god.
Even in
So-
our apartment complex, the bus
Fuck
stops
off.
multiple times.
Multiple times.
Fuck
instead of
off.
three.
Really?
So
Ours just stops on the outside of the
Yeah, ours
complex,
used
and
to.
then
It doesn't
everybody
do it
just
anymore. It
kind
comes all the way and it keeps
herds
fucking
over
stopping.
there.
Yeah.
Right.
Just at different times for different ages,
Oh,
but it
it's fucking
stops at the same
annoying.
exact
It is
place.
so annoying. Did you ever see that like meme with like a car? It's like I got my car repainted. It's like a white car, but the whole front looks like it's bashed into 100 people. It's all this blood.
That's great.
Blood.
No.
Sidewalk killer. Like yeah,
Oh, no.
it's amazing how people get the fuck out of my way now. Like,
Man, if people would just get off the sidewalks and let me drive, things would go
right?
so much easier.
Yeah, that's my favorite. It's one of my favorite Bill Burr skits when he's talking about that. Like you're driving and just like, it's the difference between psychotics and functioning psychotics. You're driving down the road. You're like, if I just pull my hand like 5 degrees from the, I'm gonna cover a Time magazine. Here, nobody knows who the fuck I am. Just telling, hey, we're going to a picnic this week. It's the most worst accident we've seen in years. You bring the potato salad. It didn't even look like he's trying to stop.
That's horrible though, man.
It's awful. So anyway, there it is. All right, anything else? We have to rate this son of a bitch.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Let's rate some planes, trains, and automobiles. Let's rate it as a movie, but let's rate it because we're doing John Hughes movies this month. Let's rate it in our John Hughes.
Okay,
So-
with a John Hughes lens. Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds like
Rate it against other John Hughes movies.
So wait, do you want to rate it against other John Hughes movies now, or do you want to wait till the end?
Group decision. Maybe we should have thought this be off there, but hey.
if it's
This makes a great podcasting.
If it's compared to all the John Hughes movies, and this is the first one we're talking about, and we have no other reference.
well, we did.
Well, technically we do have reference, but just not on air
We
reference.
did Ferris Bueller's Day Off already.
Did we?
No, we didn't.
No, we didn't.
Well, somebody did. It's on our podcast.
No, it's not.
What? I didn't do it.
Sure, we did.
Did we?
No, we did Breakfast Club.
We did Breakfast Club. Yeah, I think I
Yeah.
did. I might have done it with somebody else.
Ferris
I have to look
Bueller.
back.
If you already did
No,
it
I
with
don't-
somebody else, Marco, they can go to hell. We're gonna do it again.
Yeah.
I'll check back. I might
Take
have.
it
I don't
off
remember.
the channel. We're gonna do it again.
I might. Yeah, I'll just delete it. Fuck, I'll just delete it. Go back a ways. I may have. Maybe I didn't. I can't remember. I know we did
Because I
Breakfast
know
Club.
we did Breakfast
we did,
Club.
we did,
I was
yeah.
there.
That
We
might have
were
been a
there.
while ago.
We did Breakfast
I
Club.
remember we
We
came to
definitely
the
did Breakfast
consensus
Club.
where it was like, it was better in memory.
Yeah, I felt wicked bad.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a bad
I
feeling.
mean, I'm comfortable giving it a rating. I think
Yeah,
I want.
fair.
I could rate
Pearl,
it.
we'll start with you then.
So still in the lens of Hughes,
I mean, I just in the lens of general movies, or you could do both, right?
because I would give it, I know what I'd give it. I'd give it like I'm teetering on either a 3 or 3.5.
Wow.
Just because, like, I don't know, in the grand scheme of movies, you know, that's the best I can do. You know?
Larry, what do you think?
Ooh, I'm at a 3.5, 4.
Fair.
I really enjoyed this movie. I know that
I think I'd go
I picked
3.5.
those two couple things. Those two little things hurt me. For me, it was a fun watch. I appreciate it. It was a quick watch. It didn't feel like 93 minutes.
Yeah.
Beginning to end, it was just like you could see like, fuck this poor guy. Like he's gonna get hammered.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the suitcase gets ran over. He almost gets hit by a car because he trips over the trunk. John Koenig steals his cab. Then he sees him. Then he looks at it and goes, it's that suitcase I tripped over. That's
Yeah.
the reason. So it's like you see all of it. For me, it was a wicked fun watch. I'm giving it a 4. Yeah, I'm giving it a 4.
right.
I really enjoyed this movie.
That's an overall 4 movie watch 4 or a John Hughes 4.
No, that's a movie watch for. Because on his John Hughes, there's some of them that fucking blow this thing right out of the water.
Yeah.
Like, and we'll get to that because I have my pick. And it's probably one of my favorite John Hughes movies. But so, as an overall movie, I'm giving it a 4. And the world of John Hughes, probably a 3.
That's weird.
I know. Because again, so there's
Because in the world of all
Of all movies,
movies, you gave it a
it's
4.
Yeah.
When you subset it, it goes down.
Okay, well, let's keep that. Shut up.
yeah, yeah. I know. I know.
Larry
But I
is,
get you.
What an
Larry is a
interesting
mystery, wrapped in an enigma, smothered in secret sauce.
Bruno, what's your take?
I don't remember. It's from something. I don't remember
It is
what
from
that.
something.
Yeah.
Wrapped in a conundrum.
Yes, wrapped and smothered in secret sauce.
I thought this was a really fun movie to watch. Not one of my favorites. Not a movie that I find would be a simple rewatch. Like you were talking about how you guys watch it every Thanksgiving. Like
John and I used to do it all the time. I still do it myself now.
Yeah.
Because John and I haven't been able to get together
I
to do
probably
it.
wouldn't watch this one every Thanksgiving. I haven't seen it other than when I watched it the other night. I haven't seen it since it first came out.
No.
You know.
I'm in that same position.
Yeah.
Like I saw it when I was young a bunch of times because that's kind of what you did.
Right.
And then I watched it again for the first time since then. Watch it and I don't know, man. That might be my Thanksgiving movie.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's my
I'm sorry,
go-to
we're gonna
watch.
cut
No,
off.
it's cool. So like.
I think we do. I think we come in here like before Thanksgiving, like a day or two before Thanksgiving. We just throw it up on the screen. We all watch it together. That's my
Bruno
thing.
doesn't want to. Did you just
Except
miss
for
this?
Mila. Except for Mila.
I mean.
What? What? Wait.
I'm kind of meh.
What I mean?
You just gave me the look like,
Meh.
I ain't fucking doing it.
Well, let's.
All right, fine. It's just
no.
Larry and I doing it together. That's gonna be weird.
What I'm saying is like,
It's only weird if you make it weird.
yeah. I mean, as long as
Okay.
Don't look me in my eyes.
you're gonna let him touch himself.
No, I'm just gonna wear my pajamas.
Okay. I mean.
Cool.
All right.
Might be weird.
No judgment. No homo. So I'm gonna go with
I
like
sleep in the nude.
I'm gonna use Mila's
That got weird.
quarter. I'm gonna use Mila's quarter measurements and go 275.
There you go.
275.
Wait, we banned my quarter measurements. Wait a minute.
All right.
Because if that's the case, I'm going 375.
Okay.
If that's the case, I'm going 375.
Then I'm
on
doing
this.
3 1/4.
All right. If we're not gonna do the quarter measurements,
No, it's too late. We're doing
I think
quarter
I can do
measurements.
quarter measurements actually.
Yay! It's quarter
measurements.
We can't do like eighths and sixteenths.
I want to say something, but y'all are gonna yell at me if I do, so I'm not gonna say
I will.
it.
All right.
So, yeah.
And it is Friday. That's usually what happens when we're
I
recording
know.
this. So you're going 275, huh?
You have no idea. It's like right there. It's like it's late and I'm
you gotta
tired.
say,
It's
it now. I mean, you're.
Go ahead, let her rip.
What?
Go ahead.
Patient.
What?
I said the
The patient? Yes.
Patient.
I rated a 6.9. It's another fucking awful, good, great time ruined by a period. Go ahead.
Oh my god. Wow. What was that disclaimer you had last time? The opinions.
These opinions of a
held by
ranter, not
Marco
on a
are
ranter.
necessarily the opinions of any of the other ranters.
Oh fuck.
We
Facts,
gotta
not
have a
necessarily
button
facts.
with you just saying that, going, we do not all share the
We
same.
do not all share the same.
We should just record
We're
that
not
and
of the
make it a
same
button.
mind.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
Every time you want to say something bad, just go, hold on. Hit the button. So
Warning.
so 275.
Parenthetical.
You're at 275. I'm at 375.
Yeah.
I'm at 3 1/4.
3 1/4. And you're sticking with your
No, I'm at a 4. I was at a 4. I was at a 4.
cool.
Yeah, I'm
I
at a
like
4.
it. I like
Gotcha.
it. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
And I'd only go 275 because like I wouldn't rewatch it.
Yeah.
It was a good movie. It was fun.
I'm going through kind of your pipeline. Just like I don't know, it's not like in the grand scheme of movies. This is like really, it feels kind of like middle of the pack. Just above middle of the pack.
Yeah.
It's a fun watch. If someone's
Yeah.
like, "Hey, do you want to watch this movie?" I'll go like, "Of course, it's great." But I'm not gonna like really go out of my way and go, "You know what? I gotta watch right now."
Yeah.
Of all the movies I
Yeah.
can pick from,
Yeah.
it's just not probably gonna come up.
Right.
Love it anyway, though.
Y'all
I
sad.
have
Y'all
a
fun
sad.
time.
Y'all sad once a year. You can't bust it out once a year. Little Thanksgiving watch. I mean, come on.
I don't know. That's
Give it
quite
some
often.
love. Give it some love.
if I'm gonna spend-
Once a year is quite
If I'm
often.
going to spend some time on
Jesus.
Thanksgiving watching a movie, I'm going to choose one that's a little
Yeah.
higher rating, right?
Fair enough.
Yeah.
But like what? Well, so honestly, now I'm really being honest.
can't even think
If
of
you're
any
thinking about it, like what would that be?
Are you saying it has to be like a Thanksgiving?
No.
Just any movie at all? Any movie
But
at
if
all?
like you're gonna watch
John
like
Wick 1 through 4.
right, there you go.
There it is. Yep.
And
I mean,
just
they
gonna-
kind of tap
I'm
Bruno
just
out
gonna-
of John Wick.
I'm
on
going to
this.
John
glue
Wick
them all
1 through
together,
4.
and I'm going to watch the whole fucking thing. I'm going to get rid of the starts and ends and all the credit scenes. I'm just going to continue. You know what? I think
What
I'm
if
going to
5
fucking do
sucks?
that. I'm gonna
better not.
fucking
Oh my god.
tape them all together. I'm gonna fucking make a movie Just take all 4 movies, mash them together, get rid of the credits.
Just put a file.
Get rid
together.
of the intro scenes.
Perfect.
And just go from one movie to the other.
Download the movie files and just
That's
cut
such
them.
a great idea.
I got the movie files.
Do you?
Oh, yeah.
Just cut the movie files, cut off the credits, and
Just cut them off and just glue them all together and have them create a new MP4 and just fucking done.
1 through 4.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Gorgeous idea.
I know what I'm doing this weekend.
There it is.
Bruno's got his project.
Oh, yeah.
I love it.
You want to watch John Wick?
So I just looked up like real quick like where John Hughes movies rank in the John Hughes movie world. I'm gonna give you the top 3.
According to which website?
According to who? Who is this?
Yeah,
Who?
What? Sort your sites.
What self-important
Sources?
Source your sites, Larry.
Source my sites is
Fucking how
Sort
late
your
is it for
sites.
you?
this is according to
You get some
movie.
good stuff to make some quotes out of this.
I really do.
There's movieweb.com. So according to movieweb.com
Gotcha.
and John Hughes movies in order, I'll give you the top 5 and which. So
Which,
because one home.
let me find a different website.
Ready? No. So for number 5, they have 16 Candles.
Really?
Okay.
It's only
Yep.
5, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
16 Candles is really fun.
Number 4, A National Lampoon's Vacation. They put that on it because he was the writer.
That was
Okay.
John Hughes? Oh, okay. That's fair.
That was written by John Hughes. Number 3 was Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Peculiar.
Number 2, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Thank you.
I think fucking Ferris Bueller's way better than this.
I would also
do
have
too.
to agree.
Fuck
I'm
that,
like,
that's-
I would put
I'm
both
like-
Ferris and Weird Science on top above this.
oh yeah, I would have put Ferris probably
Yeah.
like way above that.
But here's the kicker.
What's the kicker?
The
Larry?
number 1,
I'm so curious about what you're about to say.
fucking Breakfast Club.
Oh come on! Someone didn't rewatch the movie before they made this list.
No.
I still enjoyed it.
It's still a very
It's-
popular
the thing
movie.
Is, yeah, the
I
thing
know,
is, it's a
I know.
classic movie.
Yeah.
It is.
It
Like,
is a
And
classic.
it's his
you could
most
remake
well-known,
it
I think.
today.
Yeah.
Change the issues that the kids are dealing with, and still have it be like a hugely successful movie because
Yeah.
that whole storyline of kids from different sides of the track
Yeah.
getting to know each other. And
Yeah.
learning more about.
mean,
I
the
can
struggles.
see why it's number one.
But,
like,
but
I'm
you know
not
what though?
surprised, really.
I think that would be a shorter movie because you'd have all 5 kids going, I don't want to talk to you, I don't want to talk to you, I don't want to talk to you. I'm gonna
They're all on cell phones.
And I'm on my
5
cell
hours
phone.
later.
They're all on TikTok.
Hey,
Yeah.
selfie.
Oh, be real time. Oh my
But I
God.
mean, it would be different, right? It would
It would be very different, yes.
And I would imagine that in detention, they would make you either take your phones or make you put them away.
I don't know.
Because the point of being in detention isn't that you're just sitting there for 8 hours, like cruising TikTok or Instagram or anything like that. It would be that you got to be sitting there being fucking miserable. That was the idea of detention.
Or at least doing homework,
yeah.
So
maybe.
all right, we're
I don't
going to
know,
take away
studying.
or homework. Yeah, you could do your homework.
That's a topic. You're a dad. Your kids aren't at the age yet, but they will be eventually, as will mine. When your kids are old enough and they have a cell phone, right? They have a smartphone, a cell phone, whatever. And maybe it's just for emergencies, right? That sort of thing. Now there's a lot of like schools that will take the phone for attendance. So like they literally like take the kid's phone when they walk into class and stick it into like a box and like boom, that's you're here. Oh, there you go. That then marks that way the kids don't have their phone all
Have seen
class and
that.
just sitting
Can
there going,
confirm.
da-da-da-da-da. And then there are parents who fucking bark about it. Who bark back about it. Like, no, you take my kid's phone, what if it's an emergency? Well, it's right fucking there. If it starts ringing an emergency, I can hear it.
I think we grew up in a time without phones.
Yeah.
I didn't have a cell phone until I was in my 20s.
Yeah.
And that was like the old brick car phone.
Yep.
And so I don't genuinely think kids need phones when they're in school.
Nope.
I think it's good to have them in an emergency, but you don't need them. So the practice of taking away if they were to, I'm not versed in this yet, but the practice of them taking it away as they walk into a classroom, I'm on board with. Like,
Yeah.
the kids should be focusing. They should be, and kids' brains are not wired well enough yet to be able to resist the urge
Right.
of that dopamine hit or, just
100%.
getting on social media and all that stuff. I also think there's a lot of damaging things that can happen with kids on social media, with being bullied and trying to feel cool. The problem is that now they're all using, they're using either texting. Well, actually, the kids don't text much anymore, but now they do like Snapchat or
TikTok.
TikTok or
Instagram,
Instagram, where they're actually but one of them is a communication method. I forget the name, but like where they're communicating, and then like you get team coaches communicating with the players through these social media to be like, here's when you need to be at practice, or here's when the game is this Saturday. Like communicating through social media. So you're almost mandating that these kids, who maybe as a parent you don't want them to have it, have to have it because otherwise they're
That was the other.
somehow
That
out
was
of
the
the
other
loop.
part of the argument. People were saying like,
But
my
I think
kid doesn't have a cell phone.
I think that's
so
fucking stupid. I think it shouldn't be that way. I think it should be. I think kids aren't old enough yet. I know plenty of adults who can't control themselves when it comes to cell phones and not driving and being on your phone and not, I see
attention to their own kid.
I see grown adults in their 40s and 50s in business meetings who can't stay off their phone.
Right.
So how are you going to expect your 12-year-old, your 15-year-old kid to be able to use it responsibly and not, get off track, not feel like they've got to live up to some image or something, it's I don't know. It's a big problem. I think, there's a lot. It's a nuanced thing. You can't just say no phones because these days,
it's such a part of culture right now. It's a part of everything.
Right. But I would support, giving my kid a limited, like, an old T9 phone, right? So where you can call me if you want to, but it's not a smartphone. It's a fucking Nokia, a flip phone or some bullshit all right, you got a phone, kiddo. So if you need me, it's a cell service. You call me or I can call you.
They have those though. Like they do. Like made for like children for that very reason.
Yeah.
It comes loaded with like
that I'm okay with.
Yeah.
A burner phone. You teach a kid to be a drug addict or a drug dealer. Grandma, get the drug dealer. He's got a burner phone. Awesome.
Damn.
I point him in a direction.
I figured it out this time.
But you can't. It goes.
My kid keeps snapping his phone and putting it in the trash.
It's the same thing with like the whole kids swearing in front of your kid. Like I'm not a kind of parent that's going to be like no phones forever and no swearing. Like I'd want them to be exposed to all of it while I'm there, so that I can teach them.
So you can explain it.
Yeah. Hey. That rap song you listen to has a guy who drops the F-bomb all the time. All right. What do you think about that, kiddo? Like, is that cool for you? Why do you think it's cool? Because they're just doing it for whatever reason, right?
Right.
And so they can talk about it. And, like, I don't want them to feel like this is what I have to do if I want to be cool. You might explain to them what that means. No. Or with cell phone use. Yeah, here's my cell phone. Like, I have a cell phone. I try to be cognizant of using it responsibly when I'm in front of him.
Right.
I try not to, I think I'm a pretty responsible cell phone user, even when I'm in the car or whatever, but like I'm sure I'm not perfect. So like if I make a mistake with it, I can tell them like, hey, look, you know what? I shouldn't have been on the phone at that point. Like such and such was talking to me and I was on my phone. That's really rude. I won't do that again. Right. And explain that to them. So like,
how are you going to explain to him that you have an Android, not an iPhone? That's the first mistake.
I'll tell him that he's a smart kid for making that choice. I mean, if you're interested in technology that's 2 or 3 years behind, that costs twice as much,
go for
Apple.
Go for an iPhone.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Speaking of which, I
they didn't have cut and paste till like version 5.
But if you want to be on the cultural edge, go for an iPhone.
Although for iPhone, they keep going like, oh no, it casually breaks so much easier, and all the parts, you have to buy them on your own. Oh no! Whoops!
Yeah, I think I'm going to switch out of iPhone on my next one. I've been an iPhone since iPhone 4.
Well, the franchise is pretty good.
Every other, like when my 2 years are up, it's like, oh, there's the new phone. I'll get the new phone. I'm on the 12, and I'm like, it's almost time to get the new one.
Yeah.
Do I want to go to 14? Or?
I love my 14.
See, I've had an Android since I was able to have a phone. I've never had an iPhone.
Because you know how.
And it's great. It does a great job.
Yeah.
It's a great phone. It's solid.
It's not breaking the bank.
Yeah. No, it's great.
And it works.
And I don't replace it because I don't need to because I'm like good like that. But
I don't think I need to. Well, maybe. I don't know. My battery's acting up. And I know that's something that Apple does. I'm like, you people fucking suck.
They got caught. Did they admit to like slowing down their older phones?
They got caught on because they sent an upgrade, and I'm doing the air quotes when I do that, that basically it sucked up your battery even quicker, so it would force you to. And they got caught doing it. And they were like, oh, my bad. Bring in your phone. We'll give you a brand new battery. You fuckers.
Yeah, fuck off.
Also, the fact that they purposefully try to make their iPhones so much harder to repair. so you have to go to an Apple store to get it repaired.
Yeah, and it costs, like you said, honestly, it costs an arm and a leg for fun. Like, you crack your screen, it's like, fuck, that's a piece of glass.
Yeah.
It's glass. You charge
For
me
my
how
Android,
much?
you can go to any number of places and they'll, you're not breaking the bank to try to get it fixed.
Yeah.
And it's not just Apple that does it. Like, there are a bunch of companies that do
Right,
it.
we just say it because this is
happens
the two
to be
options.
Apple, but like any company that's like, we are super proprietary, we're going to be Tesla, right? Their chargers, right? Non-standard charger. You have to use a Tesla charger. When you're on the road, they bang you for that time. So like, just like, fuck off, right? Anybody, like, go with universal shit. When you've got Apple making their own power cord, like, use a USB-C, like every other fucking thing in the world.
I was about to bring the USB-C port up. Yeah,
they change it. So it's funny that you say like Tesla's thing.
Well, they got forced to change it now to like
in the Europe made them change. They're like, look, you're gonna either get kicked out of Europe or change it.
Which makes sense. It's funny that you say like that Tesla did that. Burton snowboards, the triangle on a snowboard, that was a trademark by Burton. So you can only put Burton bindings on Burton boards. That's it. So every other, and Burton was the big fucking snowboard company.
Right.
So you couldn't go get like, I forgot what the other ones were, like a K2 snowboard, let's say. You couldn't, if you had a pair of Burton bindings, that's not fitting on the K2 snowboard. This is back then.
Yeah.
And they did it for long enough. After a while, they were like, all right, cool, all y'all motherfuckers can do the triangle patterns. Because they were making their money. And once they hit that certain level, they allowed other companies to make the triangle pattern so their bindings could fit their board, like other boards. I'm like, you sneaky bitches!
Yeah.
But that's marketing, and that's how you. That's how you
I understand you're
certain
carving
things.
out your niche, right?
Yeah.
And you've got to create your thing. But when you've got an Apple, a company like Apple that has that much control, and now you're controlling, like what's like something like 46% of the cell phone,
It's the,
use.
they control the market like that.
I mean, you're talking about. First of all, they led the way with getting rid of like that earphone jack, right?
Yeah.
Like, fuck off.
I hated that. I was so pissed at that.
Yeah,
I was pissed at first, now I could care less.
And now I got to use
Well,
fucking Bluetooth to like, fuck you, it's not as good. Like, and whatever.
I had to get the
you
thing that
can
connects to
still
the phone
use-
that connects to the
But
headphones.
you can't plug it at the same time.
No, you can't. You
On
can't.
an Apple?
On an Apple, you don't have
Yeah,
a
you
don't
can't.
You get a
have
dongle.
you
You get a
can't.
Oh,
dongle.
you got to get the
Yeah.
dongle.
You gotta get the
You got to
dongle.
buy their specific dongle, right?
Yeah.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, at one time it
That's the
came
kind
with
of
it,
shit.
so like I still have mine that came
So
with
does
it.
It doesn't anymore.
No, it doesn't
come with
anymore. I
dongle.
still have my old one that
Yeah.
came with
You
it. It
have-
still works.
If you could buy the cord and the plug, but you can't. They come separate. The charging cord and the block.
Yeah.
They're fucking.
Right?
You want
Oh
to
my
charge?
God.
I gotta buy both of them. You can't. I can't just buy it together. It doesn't come together like normal fucking things.
Yeah.
Oh no! I gotta buy the block and I gotta buy the cord. It's $20 a block. $40 to charge my fuck.
Donnie Michi.
Yeah.
Larry's out.
Larry's out.
I think I'm buying another
Rightfully
fucking
so.
phone. Fuck this Apple shit. Piss me
Well, the
off.
French-
Slowly
Nice.
convincing Larry to just absolutely change the
Fuck!
phone.
There it is. All right.
So there's that.
Okay. Anything else, gang? Before we jump on out of here, anything else you guys are excited about? We have Ahsoka coming out
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that
this
should be good. I'm
month,
looking forward
right?
to
End of
that.
this month.
I am. I'm looking
Loki
forward to
2
it.
is
Loki
coming
2's
out.
coming
Loki
out.
season 2 is coming out. I believe
I
this.
got to talk like just 5 seconds about Secret Invasion.
Yes.
Go.
Oh yeah.
Did you
Did
wind
you
up
watch
watching
it?
the whole thing?
I couldn't get through it.
Okay.
Which episode? Which episode make you finally go? I'm fucking done.
The second one.
Ah!
Like
Just kidding.
and it's not because of anything other than it just couldn't hold my interest. I was like, this is kind of boring. It just didn't draw me in. I don't know why.
Interesting, right? Like
Yeah.
Larry and I were, I don't know, we're
That's
all over
crazy.
it.
But here's
Yeah.
the,
And I get that. I mean, you guys brought some good points. I could not get into it.
that's fine.
Yeah.
And so like I'm looking at like my notes that I had for episode 2, and you're right. That was a slower one.
Yeah.
But it was a lot of setup, and so I think I watched it
I get
knowing
the
that.
setups.
So that's why I was like, all right, we're gonna get through this. It's
Yeah.
gonna be a setup, and
We're going to get through this. We can all do this together.
Breathe,
Bruno was
breathe.
like, I'm fucking
Get some coffee
Even
or
Andor
something.
was like first couple were a little bit slow. So
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
I just for whatever reason I was just like,
Maybe it's the Marvel fatigue.
Yeah. See, that's the reason I didn't watch it. I was like, I can't bring myself to watch another Marvel show right now. They've all disappointed me.
So no Loki 2 for you.
Oh, I want to see
Honestly,
that.
it's so funny. I honestly
like it could
don't
be good.
care.
Yeah.
I kind of don't want to watch Loki too.
I enjoy Tom
like, oh,
Hiddleston.
yeah.
I think he's really good as Loki.
Oh, he's fantastic. I just don't really.
You know, Owen Wilson is really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we get Short Round back in that show.
Short round. Mr. Jones.
Dr. Jones.
Dr. Jones.
Yeah, he's playing in that movie.
Is he really?
He's got in the show.
That might make me watch the show.
He's in there.
I'll watch
he's
it
in
for
Loki?
Short Round.
Yeah. Watch the preview. He comes down like out of the ceiling. He's like a technician or something like that inside the.
I'll have to post it to my computer to do it for Short Round.
He's the guy that makes all the technology for the time.
Time variance, time variance. Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
So Loki's like time slipping or whatever. So he's like, Owen Wilson guy's like, he does it like right in front of him. He's like, how do we stop that shit? Like, how do we make that stop? Because this is getting nuts. He keeps time slipping everywhere. So
It looks fun. I like the Loki character. I've always been a fan, and I think Tom Hiddleston does a really good job.
I think he does too. I got worried. I talked about it before. I got a little worried of overextending the Loki character. Like he's been in so much of the Marvel stuff, like since almost the beginning. You know what I mean? Since Thor, he's been everything.
But I think
thank God Hiddleston's really good at it.
I feel like he's been peripheral though in most of the stories, except for the
pops up so much. But, but I get what you're saying. But Hiddleston's really good at it, so luckily he is good and he's fun to watch. So, okay. Yeah.
I think that's what's going to make it like okay to watch is he's not bad. Like we had talked about it. Like for me, Loki is just fucking Loki. He's like whatever. He's just a sub character. He's a B character. I think that what Marvel's done with him, they've made him like the king of the B characters. Like again, because he's in everything, right? Yeah. And he's like. There's
a ton of different versions of him, so that's kind of fun to watch.
Right, but again, like they made him look like legit, like the king of the B characters, like him, Hawkeye, fucking Black Widow. Yeah. It's like, all right, and they're gonna ride his coattails, and all right, cool.
Well, the Black Widow movie went over like a lead balloon for whatever.
It really did.
There was so much wrong with that.
Yeah, there
we know my opinions on that movie already.
Yeah, we do.
No, really, Mila, tell us more.
Hey, man, knock it off.
Let's see. I'm actually just looking at like different things that are coming up. I'm kind of looking forward to the X-Men cartoon, to be honest with you.
X-Men '97.
I'm looking forward to that because that was
I still gotta get on that boat of watching the cartoon superhero shows.
Yeah,
specifically
I like the
DC.
What Ifs, but I can't. I'm not sure that.
Yeah, we got the What Ifs coming out.
Oh, really?
That second season of the What Ifs. So this is one thing that kind of like pisses me off too about like Marvel and their shows is why are we waiting so fucking long?
They slowed it down. They slowed it big.
Weren't we just didn't we just complain about them going too fast?
Right, but here's the thing though. Yeah. From the moment that let's say Loki got released to the moment that everybody was like, all right, this is enough. There should have been a season 2, I think, in that gap somewhere.
For Loki?
For Loki, yeah.
Yeah, they slowed that down.
But
don't the actor strikes have something to do with?
What's happening now?
Right, but what I'm saying though is from when Loki 1 ended, that ended like 3 fucking years ago.
Yeah.
No,
it was 2 years ago,
right?
Yeah, because I was still with with you guys.
I'm surprised it's been so long.
So, but just I'm saying, it's like why? From the time that it ended.
Well, because after Loki came out, they did She-Hulk, they did
Moon Knight,
Captain Marvel. What was the girl's name? I forget. It wasn't Captain Marvel.
Miss Marvel?
Miss Marvel.
Yeah.
They did a whole bunch of those other small ones, and then they probably were like, we'll do Loki later.
Yeah, well, they had to flush out.
Cycle
they
back
also had
around.
to do Quantumania. They had to do a lot more of Kang stuff because Kang is a major issue with Loki and Loki 2. So they had to flush out a lot more Kang before they can bring out Loki 2.
Right.
So,
and thank God and then they also have to see what's going on with Jonathan Majors. So.
What are y'all's thoughts on Kang? I don't know. I just kind of
talked about it the other last week.
Oh my god, it's crazy how little I care about his character.
Honestly,
it's almost insane. I'm like, this is supposed to be the big bad, and I've been like, okay.
I think he's the big bad for a setup. I don't think we're going to get a 10-year run out of this like we did with Thanos.
Yeah.
And we talked about this when we did Secret Invasion. And the reason why I think that we have to have this is because Deadpool's killing Fox. They're killing. That's the setup for Deadpool 3.
Yes.
It's killing the Fox universe. Well, now we have all that content. You have all these properties. How do you bring that property into the MCU.
Oh, so he's simply a tool.
He's a tool to. I think that he's a tool to bring everything because they were already thinking about this. That's one thing I gotta say. I gotta give Kevin Feige a lot of credit. Like he puts a lot of time and thought into it. You know, well, all right, Mr. Insider. Look, they're not DC. They're not just throwing shit at the wall and going, let's see what happens. I mean, they kind of do.
Oh no, DC has been. They're really fucking the pooch over there.
Right, so, let's see what happens.
On a daily
James
basis,
Gunn.
they keep changing shit.
I was happy with Flash. I wish.
Wait, what?
Is this a joke?
Are you?
No.
Dude, are you serious?
No, I thought Flash was okay.
Oh.
This is how the band breaks up.
This is it.
No, we did the whole thing.
We gotta fire Bruno.
I got 3 times on that tonight. This is great.
We did the whole thing on this. The baby scene was ridiculous.
Yeah, we talked about this already.
No, I know.
As a general theme, like, they did a decent job, even though I think...
Dude, I think you're misremembering. It was dog shit. Don't give her credit. Don't think you slept on it. Don't get less mad about how shitty that was.
No, I think...
Dog shit.
Good Lord. No, I think,
it.
you know, the DC stuff and even more lately with James Gunn, like they're really on an almost minute-to-minute, day-by-day basis fucking things up. Like, I've been reading a lot of shit where, like, now Wonder Woman 3 is back in the plate, where, like, she's been talking to James Gunn, Gal Gadot, to bring Wonder Woman 3 back.
What?
Yet...
It's not gonna be canon?
Don't.
No, but that's the point. They're not sure because Blue Beetle is supposed to be like now the last of the DC. But no, he's supposed to be the first of the DCU. But now Aquaman, who is supposed to be, but they've recast Jason Momoa as Lobo in the DCU. So like, and they can Henry Cavill, they can Ben Affleck, but you know the Flash, and he's supposed to still be in. Like they're fucking with everything. So they have no idea how to keep the audience on track as to who belongs in what fucking universe and how you're gonna keep any of this shit straight. All the like the woman who what's her name who plays Amanda Waller, she's still gonna be in it. All the people from Peacemaker and the Suicide Squad, they're all part of this. So it's like it's gonna be Elseworld. It's gonna be like Elseworld shit with Wonder Woman. It's all kinds of fucked up shit going on over there. I see your hand. Put it down. So, you know what I mean? It's like all kinds of crazy shit. Like, you gotta organize this shit because it's gonna fuck everybody off. Larry!
I mean, it's way
you flying away there, greatest American hero?
So, believe it or not, I'm walking on air. So, anyway,
never thought it could feel so free.
So, here's the fucked up part.
Always late, always aware. Who could it be? Believe it or not, it's just me.
So, listen. I'm glad that you do know this. You know why?
Sorry, Mila.
When it first got announced, remember you and I sat
fucking
right
awesome
here,
show.
and I sat here and said, I'm worried.
I have a t-shirt too.
I'm worried about Gunn. I'm worried about Gunn taking on this role, and I think he's going to fuck things up. 3 months later, all my shit's coming to fruition.
Dude, you're like an oracle or something.
I am.
So here's the thing. So here's the problem. At first, here's my issue. At first, everything seemed sweet and cool. Like, all right, I got this thing. What's we're gonna do? We're getting rid of the DCEU. Fuck this stuff. We're gonna start from scratch. And this is it. We're gonna do Superman Legacy, Batman Brave and the Bold, and this is it. Fuck all that stuff. That's all in the past. We just gotta get through Aquaman and Blue Beetle and Flash. Because we've already got them in the can. So let's just play it, and we're gonna start afresh.
Yep. That was the original
now,
idea.
all months later, it's like, well, we're gonna kind of keep some of it, and we just.
So can we
DC
talk about
trying not to
how
fuck up the
decision
universe.
to fully start fresh was probably a stupid one?
No,
Like,
at this
what?
point
Like-
it has to because
It was a great idea until they're gonna step all over it.
Right, because if
again.
you're going to get rid of some, you have to get rid of all. Because otherwise, like, how do you make sense of like the fact that you don't have Henry Cavill, you don't have
You have a
Ben
multiverse.
Affleck?
Same way Marvel's
but,
fucking doing it.
Yeah, but they got rid of Henry Cavill. He didn't leave the position.
No, yeah, that's my point. You're taking away something. He never got a Superman 2. Like, he never got a Man of Steel 2. He should have. Ben Affleck never got his own Batman movie, just him, right? There's all these things that people want that they never got. And you're killing off half of the universe, and you're keeping some of it around and recasting Jason Momoa as a completely different character within the same universe.
Well, not for
Makes
nothing,
no
but
sense whatsoever.
Well,
Horrible idea. Horrible.
Not for nothing, but when Gunn came out, and they gave us that 10-movie slate.
Yeah.
When he was in charge of like writing and directing, and there was like 5 of those fucking movies were his.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's like Kevin Feige coming out and becoming the big shit, and going, yeah, you know what? But I'm gonna do half of myself. Like that right away.
Yeah, that scared me.
That scared the shit out of me.
I thought he was just going to be more of a Kevin Feige overseer, but no, he's going to be writing and maybe directing.
So that's a
you
conflict
can't
of
do
interest
both.
because how
Kevin
do you tell your
Feige
boss,
doesn't do both on purpose.
Right. Now he's the boss. He's running the shit. So he's going to come up with a movie. If nobody likes it, they're going to like, well, fuck, we can't tell him we don't like it because then we don't have our movie because he's the one who controls it all. Yeah. It's a conflict of interest. He should have never fucking done it.
Yeah. He shouldn't. He should be, and not just that, because you are right. But not just that. It's like, how are you going to be overseeing everything and directing and writing?
And doing your own shit.
That's too much for a human being to even bother trying to do. You're fucking jacked up trying to write and direct a movie. Never mind multiple ones, and oversee the universe and deal with other directors and writers for the other projects going on at the very same time. It's gonna be swinging from the fucking rafters in a year.
And I think everything's going to look like Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
Great.
Or Suicide Squad, but we know how much you love that one. So anyway,
both of those
but
movies
there's
sucked.
that.
Yeah,
Those are so
Margot
bad.
Robbie was the only redeeming quality of either of those.
Speaking of Margot Robbie,
Oh yeah, I watched Barbie.
give us the quick
yesterday.
take.
Surprisingly, really good. Like it was actually really good.
It's getting good reviews. I haven't seen it.
It
yet.
is blowing
I'm gonna
everything
take a
out
wild
of the
guess,
fucking water.
stab in the dark, and say no one else saw it here.
I haven't seen it yet. I
Yeah.
haven't had
The
time.
thing is, I did.
I mean, I would probably end up streaming. I'm not gonna I don't have time really to go to the theaters to see it. Not that I don't want to or
Yeah.
wouldn't.
Yeah.
Certainly not gonna go by myself.
All I can say is
3
That would be
seats.
weird.
it kind of
You
takes
think,
a lot
especially
of.
with my 3 seats, like okay, what's he doing?
It kind of takes a lot of like idea. I thought it was super cool because surprisingly enough, it's not really a kids movie.
No, it's
not a kids movie at all.
Yeah, it doesn't sound that way.
Yeah, no.
What's it rated? Is it 13? I don't even know if they.
I don't know.
I think
It's
it's 13.
I think PG.
It feels like it's
Yeah.
PG-13.
So it's not like a little
they,
kids. It was not a G or PG.
Yeah. There was a lot of like adult jokes and things only adults would get, you know. And the thing is, it kind of takes, the point of it is it takes all of the ideas related to Barbie, such as like women in general and self-image, like especially, and self-image as a woman. And it kind of like makes a whole movie surrounding that. And you like, Marco and Larry, you guys referenced to, oh, it's just Free Guy. And it sort of has things like that, but as the movie progresses, it becomes not the movie you're expecting it to be. Like it opens up and it's like Barbie in a Barbie world, and you go, oh, it's just gonna be one of these movies. And then it goes into, oh, there's something wrong with me. I have to go to a different world to fix it. And you go, oh, it's gonna be one of these movies.
But that's where the kind of Free Guy aspect becomes.
Right, exactly. But then once you're in this world, things are not going the way you're expecting them to go. Like all of a sudden it's like, oh, my job is to help this person, which is going to help me in the plot, you know? But
It almost seems like, and just from outside looking, it almost
Yeah.
looks like a Matrix-y type of like, oh.
that's the thing. It actually kind of does feel more like a Matrix type
She's
type
almost
movie.
like the Neo character.
Yeah.
Like, has come to realize like she's in this and has to be helping everything. That's just from the previews I got when they're chasing after her and like the Will Ferrell character. Like they're
Honestly,
chasing-
funny
So
enough.
tell us, Mila, what actually happened?
What actually happened was basically things. So what actually ends up happening is Barbie is realizing she's less perfect.
And spoilers alert.
Yeah, spoiler alert. No, I'm gonna keep it like I just want to not make no sense.
We're an hour 47.
I want to make at least a
Who's
little
still
sense.
listening at this point? It's okay.
A little sense. I want to make a little sense.
Yeah.
So it's explained to her that she has to go to the real world to find the person who's playing with her Barbie or something, because something's going wrong there. They're not just playing with her like, in a Barbie world. So she has to go to the real world to go help that person feel better.
Okay.
So she goes to this place to feel like to make them feel better, and they just roast the shit out of her. They're like, you're a horrible, you're horrible, you're bad for the world, you've made everyone feel bad about themselves. And she's like, oh no. You know, and then she goes around the world and then realizes she goes on this whole self-discovery path about what is perfection, what am I supposed to be, what is it to be human. You know, all of a sudden you're like, oh my God. So you're like,
Data.
oh wow, what an image.
She's fucking Data.
Yeah, right, no, and you're like, oh my God. And then it's like, it's very woman. So I wouldn't really expect you guys to like need to go see it and go like, oh my God, I get it now. I don't know. It's just like,
Oh, I get it.
You don't
It's
know
definitely-
me. You don't know me.
I don't know.
You don't
geez.
judge me.
No, but it's like, I don't know. It's very, very, very woman-centric as would be expected, you
Literally
know?
about the impact that Barbie has had. Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, and it's crazy. It's such a wild ride, and but the thing is, it's also like really funny as well. It's got so many good things, especially
Including
with
the daughter of the original woman who created Barbie.
yes, yep,
She's the woman on the bench.
yeah. No, actually, she's not. I don't thi-
That's what they said.
Did they say it?
Yeah.
I thought
The-
they
the
said it
older
was
lady-
like somebody.
The older lady that's like talking to her on the bench or whatever.
Yeah,
She's the daughter
That
of
was
the
a
woman who
good
created
scene.
Barbie.
The scene that scene is actually really cool.
Who I
too,
think
but-
the Barbie doll is actually made after.
Well, I know
Larry?
it's named after the kids. So, all right, are we ever gonna review this movie?
I doubt it. I don't know.
I don't know.
I
Okay.
don't know why not.
Well, yeah, we could. I mean, we just kind of did, but yeah.
Not really.
Oh
We
no, I
haven't
just
reviewed it. She
summarized
just-
some portion of it.
Then I'll,
Are you holding on to the price? Yeah, it's made I mean, it's not done,
It's
so we
made a
could.
stupid
It's
amount of
made
money.
like 700 million.
Yeah, 700.
It's
that
more.
was
It's
800
gonna,
mil?
it's gonna
like
break
2
the
weeks
billion.
ago. It's gonna break.
it's gonna break a fucking $1 billion.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's crushed
Right
like the
now.
Batman.
Yeah,
like,
I
it's
went
crushed
a week
tons of-
later and the theater was still packed.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna do this out because honestly, I don't plan on watching this. So if you guys review it,
Yeah, no.
Alright, I need a crunch check on it!
Part 2.
fucking A. Budget was $100 million.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was the budget.
Seems
It's fucking grossed $828 million.
So needless to say, it's a hit.
Holy
I
They made
say
their money
so.
back like a
That would be
Yeah.
8.2.
Their ends are meeting like a motherfucker.
It 8.3
doing-
times production budget.
it's doing great.
It's made
It's doing
so
great.
domestic
That's
is
fucking
406
crazy.
million.
Yeah.
Like and
I'm
international
happily
is 422.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah.
And watching
Wow.
it absolutely deserves every cent.
Yeah,
It's a
like,
fantastic movie.
I'm happily surprised in the way of like, you know, so many of these kind of movies made from, you know, toys or properties like
Yeah.
this don't do well.
Yeah,
you know
no.
what I mean? And I think this one was important enough. You know, like Bruno was saying. Sorry, Dino's been on my mind all day. Bruno's been saying, like, you know, it's important what it does, you know, what the impact it's had on, it's important enough that it should do well. It should have
Yeah.
a great story behind it and send a good message and a proper message and things like that. So I think it was really important that they treated it well and didn't just make a stupid fucking little kid, you know,
yeah.
fluffy movie out of it.
I'm
you
so
know what
glad
I mean?
they didn't make a fluffy
yeah,
kids
you know what I
movie
mean?
out of it.
Make a little
'Cause it
thriller
was
movie out of
made-
it just for fun.
Yeah, it was made for people who actually grew up with Barbies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
You know what I mean? Because I think at the onset, when you first saw some original trailers for it, it kind of looked like it would
looked
be.
a little bit
Yeah.
like it was just going to be a
Like
kid's
kiddie.
movie about
Yeah.
Barbie. Yeah.
So I'm glad. I'm very surprised and very happy that it wasn't, and it's doing what it's doing. And
Yep.
you know, so it's amazing the amount of haters though it has, which is really like anything.
I can also, having seen it, I
Especially
can
for
also
the-
see why
but-
people hate
the
the
male
movie.
haters,
Yeah,
yeah,
the
yeah.
guy haters. I'm like,
because
yeah.
it doesn't like put the male perspective. in the-
Understandable. I look
right,
at it and I
because
go,
as much as it
yeah.
lifts up the women's side of it, it kind of pushes down like the male side of it a little bit, supposedly. Like
Yeah.
I haven't seen it. I don't give a fuck. It does what it's supposed to do
Yeah.
on the women's side of it, and I think that's a great thing. So
That's what's
I'm
important.
happy.
That was the point of
Right,
it. You
and I
know,
think it
wasn't
should, and they
necessarily to
deserve it,
bring
it
down
needs to be
men.
done.
It was to make women like feel uplifted and like
yeah,
and
because
empowered
I mean
and
that's
better
the Barbie.
about
That's
themselves.
what the Barbie
you know?
character. That's what the dolls are about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think it's doing what it should be doing.
Yeah.
It's
frankly.
fucking nuts.
Yeah.
I'm just like the numbers. Like I just did it in comparison to Oppenheimer. It's double.
Fucking awesome to movie as well.
I really actually want to see that. It's doubled
So good.
Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
opening,
yeah.
opening
No,
weekend,
easily
fucking
doubled
total, like,
Oppenheimer.
So I
they
think
both have 100 million, but
I think
Yep.
part of that is like Oppenheimer's just an amazing flick.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think they get a very vastly different audience.
Barbie's
who's
just a
gonna see
cultural
something like that.
phenomenon going
Plus,
on.
Oppenheimer's a fuck ton longer,
3 hours.
Yep.
so you can't see it as often. I think with Barbie, you're not just having like any movie that makes $1 billion. It's not the people that see it; it's the people that go see it again and again and again and
Yes.
again.
No,
Not enough
exactly.
people can see it to see it make it $1 billion.
I think a lot of people could see it to make it $1 billion.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Like things like Avengers, it's like they ran to make $1 billion. The Spider-Man, it's the people that go back and go see it again
Yeah.
and again.
I love
The people watching Barbie are going to see it again.
Yeah.
I watched Oppenheimer and I think it's amazing. I'm not really.
You're gonna go back to see it again.
It's not quite the
3
same
hours.
feel. I'm not quite gonna go back for 3 hours.
I think they're
of an amazing
and not just-
story.
It's not just
but
that.
I'll watch it again like
It's
in a
not
few
just
years.
that. It's
you
not
know?
just people seeing it
It's
again.
heavy.
One, you're not gonna have it enough screens, and B, you can't run it that many times in a day.
I don't agree
Like Barbie,
at
you
all
can
with that.
let's say you could make 8 showings in a day.
Although Avatar was able to
open
make
from time to
a shit ton
time
for some reason.
Let's say
Avatar made a buck, but anyway, so
But let's say
I
the theater's
don't
open
think
from
you're
10 to
getting-
10.
IMAX.
You can run more Barbies in a day than you can an Oppenheimer
Yeah.
because it's
I don't-
longer.
Yeah,
I don't think
exactly.
you're getting 800 million or a billion.
Maybe it was because it was paired with
because
Barbie.
people are seeing it multiple times. That's not going to give you a 3x boost. You're going to get people who talk about it, and then other people who
Sure.
are interested
Yeah.
decide to go see it instead of decide not to go see it.
That's a good point.
So, and then it's a movie about women and women's strength and all of those issues around body image, et cetera, that Barbie's been related to. So there are plenty of people that go see it because of that message. And then you get plenty of people who go see it because of either Ryan Gosling or Margot Robbie. So like,
Yeah.
you know, so those both like, they're both like massive sex symbols to men and women, and like people want to go see them for that reason.
Yeah.
Barbie's a huge name, and like it's got a good message. Like all of that put together,
Yeah.
that's why you're getting everybody going to see it. I think there's definitely going to be people who go see it multiple times, but I don't think that's going to be the bulk of where that 800.
But I think
million
also
dollars
it's the running time.
Yep.
Running times makes a huge factor. You can't get as many Oppenheimers in a day.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? You can't
most
fit
people
in a
don't-
theater. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A theater's open
All
from
right.
10 to 10. You can only put so many showings in a day.
But look at
Yeah,
look at
it's 3
Avatar.
hours.
Avatar was like 2.5 hours.
I think that was because it had
I made
IMAX.
I made $1 billion.
Everyone wanted to rewatch it because of IMAX, I think.
So
Everyone's
I
like,
have-
oh my god,
Then
it
you
looks
have
so
to- Then
good.
you have to take into account how many screens it's on.
Right, so they could put it
In
on
a
2
theater.
screens if you want, though. Because
Yeah.
there's been plenty of movie places that if the movie was big enough, they have it on 2 screens.
Like an Avatar, they're going to put it on 2 to 3
Do you
screens.
think we're going to talk about
probably not.
Oppenheimer?
I don't know.
Because I think we should.
I
I plan on
absolutely.
watching it.
I
I'm
think
not
so, 'cause
going
I
to
do
have time to
wanna
go
watch
watch it
it.
in the theaters. I guarantee you. So when it comes out
wow, we are
streaming,
so running over.
No kidding, we're almost at 2
happened to
hours.
look over. I looked up like lifetime gross
yeah.
as of August 4th. Avatar, 2.9 billion.
That's the original one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's first. Second is Avengers Endgame at 2.7. I'll just give you the top 5.
Makes sense.
The third one is Avatar: The Way of the Water, and that just fucking
Really? Did it really make that much money?
That was a
2.3.
really good
That-
movie.
I haven't seen it, and
I have
want
not
to.
seen it. I
Go
probably
see it.
will never see it, but
It's good. It was
I
good.
trust that it was
And
good.
the visuals were
The
incredible.
number.
Oh,
care
I
less.
trust that it was good.
And
have
this
no
one's
interest in
always
that
nice
property.
to see. Still up here. The number
Titanic
4.
has got to be 4 or 5, right?
There it is. Titanic.
Titanic.
Number
Oh, yeah.
4 at 2.2. That movie came out in
That was
97.
king
Like,
for a
that's
minute, you
still
know?
fucking crushing
That's
it.
still pretty
Yeah.
strong. Yeah.
And 5.
He could have
is,
fit on that fucking.
No Way Home.
course.
Especially with the recent,
Way Home.
news.
Really?
news.
No, the number 5 spot is being held by Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens.
Really?
Interesting.
No fucking way.
Really?
2.071.
God damn.
You know why?
Infinity
Because
War
it was a
right
New
behind
Hope
it.
remade.
Yeah. Surprising.
Infinity War was right behind that, 2.05.
Fucking
Spider-Man No
awesome.
Way Home is 1.9.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So here's my
Marvel's
concern.
kinda hitting it.
Here's my concern with Oppenheimer, right? That
What?
There's a post going around with people doing searches. People are searching on, is Oppenheimer based on a true story?
Yeah.
You
There's a lot of that.
Brother!
There's a lot of that.
Oh my
God
God!
fucking
Really?
Yeah.
And then, is the nuke in Oppenheimer real? Fuck you. Did they drop a real nuke for Oppenheimer? What the fuck are you
Oh
doing?
yeah, that's
If you're
because they kept
searching
going
this
like,
bullshit?
we're not using any CG, so everyone goes, wait, no CG?
No, it's all
Hello?
right.
But,
Not even a
is
little
it-
bit?
Yes,
is it
this
real?
proves that
Is it
the
real?
gene
That's
pool
so
needs a little
funny.
chlorine.
Oh my god, we need to be studying our
That's
history.
so funny. Oh my
Yeah.
God. Is it
Did you
based off
see
a
the
true
Did
story?
you see the factual or the historical goof on Oppenheimer?
No.
No.
There's a scene
I don't
where
like to get
I
into
think they're in like this like
nitty-gritty
big crowd scene and everybody's
seen it.
waving American flags.
Oh, yeah.
They were wrong.
There's too many
It
stars.
was
There's too many
there's
stars.
50 states. There's
Wait,
too many.
what?
Yeah.
No, really?
Well, think about it,
That's-
Hawaii wasn't a state yet.
I think it was Alaska and Hawaii. I think at
Well,
that
I think
point.
it was Alaska and Hawaii.
two.
So
That's
they were
that's
they're
funny.
waving
That's
some flags
actually
ahead.
that's kind of
there's
funny.
50 stars, and you're like, hey.
No
But again,
states
so-
yet. No two states
but-
there.
but I-
Of all the things to get wrong, it's not.
So
I'm not mad that that's the
There's a
only
lot of
thing.
them. It's
I'm
kinda
okay
like,
with
"Hey."
that.
So I
Let
saw
me do a
that.
double check on that.
I saw that meme and somebody reacted and said, wait a minute, let me get this straight. Somebody actually sat there and took the time to count the fucking stars on literally a 2-second shot.
Yeah.
Get a fucking life. And I was like, I can stand behind that one, actually.
You know,
I mean,
suddenly
not
he's also holding a
necessarily. You don't
vodka
actually have to count them. The
instead of a
pattern
tequila.
changed.
Yeah.
The pattern changed when it went from 48 to 50. The pattern shifted on the stars. They weren't like that kind of off.
Obviously, because you had to fit 50 stars. I understand
Right,
that.
so it was like you didn't even have to count them. You're just gonna see the pattern as the new
I
pattern.
don't, yeah, but I don't think the pattern was that far off. If you go from 48 to 50, it's not like they went from
Yeah, you're
13 to
losing
fucking.
Look it up. Look it up. What was the
Fucks me.
pattern of the flag prior to that?
All right,
Were they even?
fucking-
Were they aligned? Or were they?
Somebody who's
'Cause now they're off.
Somebody who's looking at the movie critically is going to look at each piece and.
But people do that constantly.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. But do you see the stars? They're lined up. They're in line.
They are lined up.
Yeah.
And now they're not.
Ours
Every
is
other row is
staggered.
off-centered.
All right.
So now it's staggered.
It's super easy to see that the stars in the 50 states are
What
off-centered.
does this bag say?
I know.
It says,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Blow it up your ass.
It says that?
Get outta here.
I brought
It
the wrong
does actually.
headphones.
Whoa, no way. Mine says it too.
Like, what do you think? I mean, look, it's. That's the thing, like, the patterns are wrong.
Yeah, but
Although
I think
again,
at some
although
point, I haven't
look,
seen it.
again,
I haven't seen it,
of-
but I think at some point people were just holding the flag. It wasn't they weren't
Yeah.
waving it. But they were just holding the flag.
Yeah.
So if it's not moving, it's not waving. You can see it's just sitting there.
They probably
You
just
can see,
bought a bunch
on
in
Mila's
bulk or something, I don't know.
On Mila's shirt, you can see the stars are off pattern.
I mean, yeah, I'm looking at the
Yes,
two different flags,
true.
and you're right.
It's a
But
good
again,
You can pretty quickly
though,
catch
for
that,
a
but-
2-second shot. It's a pretty good catch.
Yeah.
You got
that's a
it.
great
And,
catch.
but
people do
again,
that all the
of
time.
all the historical inaccuracies, I am so glad
Yeah.
that that's the one.
I mean,
you know,
so wait,
if you go
and not
back,
everything
there's
else.
probably more.
Was it based on a real story?
All right, everybody. It is 2 hours. I think
2
this call
fucking
was
hours.
2 hours
a fucking
on
wrap.
planes, trains, and automobiles,
Probably
and other things.
And a lot of other things. That's probably one of the longest
Among the rest
episodes
of the
I've
world.
ever
Oh, you guys
mistaken.
didn't see the movie yet, right? So if you have a review, we'll go over the physics of it.
What's that?
Oh, that'd be great.
No, we're totally doing it.
No
We're totally. I'm calling it right
Theoretical
now.
physics.
We're fucking
Theoretical
doing it.
physics.
We're fucking doing it. I need some Bruno math. It's been too
Yes.
long. I need some
Yeah.
Bruno physics.
I need to fucking bring like
I'm Bruno for big
Diameters.
Bruno
I
physics,
need
and we
Come
get a
on.
fucking bumper for it.
protractor. What else do I need? Like,
You definitely need a protractor. For
You need one of those
Definitely
fucking
the fucking
giant
protractor.
calculators.
Hell yeah.
You need a-
One of those giant fucked off calculators.
from Texas Instruments.
Yes. I have to wheel it in here in a
No,
wheelbarrow.
we don't have to go deep into it. Just like there's one port. I think
Like-
it's in the
like
trailer when what's his name's character is talking to Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer's like saying, "Well, there's a chance that we could."
Oh, is he talking to Matt Damon's
could just-
Oh,
character?
yeah.
There's a chance we could destroy the world,
And like fry the atmosphere.
That's right. And so it's a matter of how much energy was released into the atmosphere, how quickly, and then
Yeah, I
whether,
saw about this.
whether the nitrogen burning sequence becomes self-sustaining. And it happens if there's like, I forget the level, but a certain amount
Yeah,
of energy.
Neil deGrasse Tyson talked about this. It's way bigger than the bomb.
It's not way bigger, but what they did
That's what he
was
said.
they did a study of like there's two curves, and if these curves meet, that's the end of the world.
I don't know. I think if you drop a nuke, we're fucked. If you drop a nuke, we're fucked.
But what in the movie they're suggesting that the nuke they thought there was a potential to light the atmosphere on fire
And destroy
Oh,
the
and
entire
destroy the whole
world.
world.
Yeah, the whole last
that's what
planet,
that
Larry.
Oh, yeah,
That's
yeah,
what
yeah.
that-
Sorry.
All of the atmosphere.
All of the atmosphere.
Not just where it drops,
Self-sustaining
everywhere.
atmosphere, burn, boom,
So
everywhere.
they
everyone's
do
done.
they do a
Boom, ah.
test in fucking Utah, and the whole world goes right.
Welcome back, Larry.
Thank you. Appreciate it. So long.
So the important distinction there is that when you've got in the studies and then the mathematics that they put together, they took a worst possible scenario and then they compared it against the value that it would have to hit, and it was way off. So like there was never even a small sliver of a chance. But
Oh, good.
It was
That's
just something
And that's a
they
little
thought
taste
about.
of what we'll get into when we
We do
podcast about
Podcast
Oppenheimer.
Oppenheimer.
Look for that.
I'm gonna be so
the coming
quiet during
months.
that because you're just gonna blow. I'm just gonna be lost. I'm like,
I'll be like, wow, and then what happened?
You can talk about the editing. All right.
there it is.
There it is, ladies and gentlemen. This is Entertainment Rants. Thank you, Larry.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mila.
Thank you.
We'll wait for Bruno Prado's quotes. Thank you, Bruno.
Nah, $6 my left nut says we're not landing in Chicago.
Oh, wait. Speaking of nuts, when that guy grabbed him by the nuts, I feel like the best host, he had that they changed the voice on her.
Yeah, that was
I
so
thought
funny.
that was so
Oh my God.
And Joe was
good.
like, that's the first time I've ever seen anybody picked up by their scrotum. Their scrotum.
Yeah. I thought that was really.
That was so funny. No,
All right, I'm done.
Okay, we're good. All right,
Okay.
gang. Thank you very much for
3 minutes.
listening. If you enjoyed the podcast, let us know
Still
what you
are.
thought of planes, trains, and automobiles, or any of the other shit that we talked about in the last couple
we're over
hours
by
since
an
we
hour.
started at 8 o'clock this morning. Fuck. This is a long one. Thanks, everybody, for listening. We're Entertainment Rants at entertainmentrants.com. Give us a listen and give us a review on Apple Podcasts if you'd be so kind. We loved hearing from you guys. What are we going to go out there and do, everybody?
Rant.
Let's rant.